We're good.
Oh, hello, and welcome to the 44th episode of the Destiny Community Podcast. Got it without asking this time. Hey, welcome everyone. This podcast is brought to you by Blue Microphones and Headphones. If you're wondering why I'm not wearing mine, it's because it's like 85 going up to 90 right now in this apartment.
Is that it?
So people are like, oh, that's not that hot. When you're sitting inside an apartment with like in front of two computer screens, PC and PlayStation and all this other stuff, it gets kind of hot. It feels hot.
Some people pay to go to a sauna. You know that, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Some people
not all day while you're working.
Yeah, they're also naked when they go to that, and I don't.
Why aren't you naked?
That.
Right? You really should be naked right now.
Wait, this is my Twitch channel. Never mind. Don't get naked.
Don't get
naked. Yeah. All right, there's Watts isn't here this week. Her mother is in town, so she is, showing her mother around this beautiful, sweltering 85-degree weather here in Seattle.
I still can't believe you guys are complaining about 85 degrees.
Look, you can it's fine until you realize that we don't have AC here.
So the amount of equipment that is in our offices also is like I literally have the windows like wide open in the middle of winter in my office.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Like it is insane.
All right.
How much heat is generated by all this stuff.
It's like it's not 85 degrees. When you're sitting next to the computer, it's closer to like 100.
True.
If you're listening to
we
this
don't get past 60 here in Canada, so
yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like if you're listening to this on iTunes or YouTube, make sure to leave down in the comments for Patrick where you live and why 85 degrees is not.
And I'm
going to
say that must be nice where you have air conditioning where you're from.
Oh my God.
Mtashed, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Thanks for coming on.
I'm stressed, to be honest with you.
Stressed?
I'm in the process of buying a house, and we just found out that the basement, like there was like a water patch under the carpet, and so they might have to excavate beside the house to check the foundation. And essentially, if they don't fix it, we're not buying the place. And like the only way we will buy the place, which I would really like to, is they have to like go in and full on fix it. And I got to look at it and say, it's fixed. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Just because if the whole basement floods, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Building inspectors are, a godsend because even though you don't want to get that news, you don't want to have bought the house, then found out that the foundation's cracked and you've got water filling up your basement.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly. And like, and the worst thing is the room that it was in would have been, or it's going to be my office. And so if my equipment gets damaged at the start of Destiny 2 launch and I'm down for 3-4 days, that's a huge amount of time to be down, especially at the beginning of Destiny 2. Or, there's a fire or something because it shorts all my gear.
Oh, you just got it's like, look, there's homes in Louisiana that are on like the poles basically. So just do that with your computer. Just put everything on top of your desk. Yeah.
It's a great idea.
It doesn't matter. Just go ahead and buy the house, dude. It's fine. Invest in some nice tables and sticks to prop everything up on.
Okay, deal.
And if you really need to, just pull up the carpet and use some, super glue to seal that foundation.
Super glue the foundation?
I trust that.
Just super glue the foundation.
I'm going to need some credentials about that, Pope.
I don't know enough about repairing home foundations to know if that's like good advice or not. So I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
Just get like a big old vat and scoop it in. All that super glue.
Cash. Everybody in here knows you well. You're like the brother I never. Well, the second brother I never had.
I look like your son.
I don't know if you look like my son. You look like something else, and I'm gonna leave it up to chat to comment on that. But if you're listening to this,
that's what he looks like.
Tash is a clean-cut guy, and he's wearing like a tank top here, and then he's got this mustache that's growing in, and it looks.
What's wrong with it?
It's provocative.
It's like he got back from his first week at working at his dad's car dealership, and so he decided to try to grow a mustache to look even older. Is this
the roast of Tash or what? What's going on?
He's the high school kid that finally grew a little bit of facial hair, and he's going to exploit the crap out of it. Is what he's doing.
I can't throw shade at you for it, man, because I have this abomination on my face too.
Well, we appreciate you growing facial hair to feel more comfortable on the podcast. That must have taken you a few months, and we appreciate that.
No, literally, this is like a full 3 weeks to get in, and it still doesn't grow in the middle, which is the worst part. So just nasty in there.
You can't accidentally grow a Hitler stash then. So
reverse.
Hey,
reverse stash.
How does one accidentally?
Yeah, an accidental Hitler stash.
Maybe you just shave in the dark. You're shaving in the dark, and you just forget to get that part. I don't know. I don't have these problems. I just don't shave.
So Tash, we know you from Twitch, but if somebody is tuning into the podcast and hasn't had a chance to check out your channel, what kind of content would they tune in to see?
So on Twitch?
Yeah, on your different media.
I'd say both.
I play a lot of Rumble, but I'm a goofy guy for the most part. I like to try and be like as good as Luminosity, but not quite there, and then make fun of myself when I'm not there. On YouTube, I have kind of varied content. I do comedy videos, and I do a series called Crucible School, and that's going to be coming back for Destiny 2 because I think the game is changing pretty big. Yeah, I mean, Destiny 2 is going to be quite different. There's a lot to learn, so I'm going to really try and bring back that series. Actually, that's how I got successful is Crucible School because Planet Destiny back in the day picked me up to make videos for them with that series, and that took me from I think I had like 700 subscribers to 10,000 in like a week. Wow. So it was it started absolutely everything.
It's awesome.
It was great. We really enjoyed working with you during the Planet Destiny days. You also do a little bit of shoutcasting, right?
Yeah, trying to really break into it now. Got some kind of.
Is that what the mustache is for?
Yeah.
No, I just shave it. Done. I'm sorry. Tournaments now, I guess. I did the Red Bull Clash course with Patrick.
Yeah.
That's right. Here in my screen, which is fantastic. That was like the first one, like kind of large scale event that I'd done. And then when MLG and Bungie collaborated, and I guess Activision collaborated for the Supremacy event back last August, they invited me to do that with Chris Puckett, which was great because I got some exposure with, directly with MLG to do that. And then for Guardian Con, we did the $50,000 invitational there. And so those are kind of like the three events that I've done officially, and then I've done some kind of MLG, with MLG, some Halo Game Battles tournament with Benson, if you guys have ever heard of Benson.
Hell yeah.
But that was like 2 years ago now, 3 years ago now almost. And then now I've kind of reached out to them again, and Chris Puckett kind of said, hey, you did a really good job when I saw you. I watched some of your stuff. Send me a demo reel, and I'm going to put it, out there to some people kind of in the decision-making position with us, and we'll see what happens. So hopefully down the road I get a role with MLG, maybe not right now for current games, but if Destiny 2 does go esport, I'm really hoping they kind of instantly say, okay, yeah, Mike's one of them, let's start moving with a new team for Destiny. Because they have some very talented people, but a lot of those guys like Maven and all them, they're focused on Call of Duty, and you can't really pull them away from Call of Duty. Sure. So I'm guessing they'd make a new team for Destiny that's already well-versed in the game. And if they can prove, okay, that guy knows how to shoutcast it, and he knows the game, it's a very easy implementation for them.
That's one of the reasons why the same people have been doing the same games for so long. They know the game. It's very easy for them to talk about it.
Yeah.
But that was what was fun about. I didn't get to watch you at Guardian Con during Guardian Con. I watched the VOD, when I got home. Right. And it was really entertaining. You, Angry Iceberg, Typhoon, you guys did a great job. You made it really entertaining to watch because there were long stretches where you guys had to just talk, and it was fun, and you guys were entertaining, and you guys were explaining the plays. It was fun.
Thanks. Yeah, no, that tournament, I think, was the best showcase of what Destiny esports could be because we had multiple teams. Yeah. There were people getting knocked out. We could talk about what happened and what's coming up. There was different, map layouts. So we had Asylum and all these different ones and different game modes on those maps. So one of the times we saw Burning Shrine was, a Slayer, or the next one was a control map or something like that. So it's kind of cool how they changed it up and you saw it. Because I think, what map was it? Asylum ended up being like a zone control map, I think. Or no, yeah. It was either Asylum or whatever it was. And we hadn't seen zone control the whole time. And we went from all these full-on Slayer game modes to an objective game mode, and it really changed the way it all flowed in the tournament.
That's great.
It was good. It was a lot of fun.
I tell you, sitting there, I was, sitting on the floor. There was a ton of people. This is at Guardian Con, right. And I for the finals, and just sitting there in that environment really reminded me of what it used to be like for me going to the Halo tournaments.
Right. And
it really had that early that vibe of it, where you could see this just blowing up, and everybody was excited. It just was such a close experience. It hasn't hit a marketing boom yet. There's nobody that's really taken over it yet. And it just felt very organic and homegrown. And I think you were a big part of making it feel like upping the professionalism of it, but then still keeping to that grassroots feel. And I just wanted to say great job with that. I talked to Trav the other day.
That's a huge compliment.
Just being
thank
honest.
You so much. Actually, the biggest compliment that I saw going through the chat was someone said, I've never watched a tournament and felt like, I just wish Chris Puckett was doing the shoutcasting until Mtashed. And I was like, oh my God, because Chris Puckett's like my idol in shoutcasting. And when they said, you're good, you're as good as him or good enough to keep me entertained, I felt very, very happy with that. And I'd like to be that guy. Like moving forward, I want to be the shoutcaster, like one of the lead guys for Destiny. That'd be my goal. Because I know people say that I'm too hard on myself, but I know that I'm not good enough to compete at that level because there are people like the Anbus and Sir Demetrius and stuff that are young guns, and they're so good and so consistently good that, yeah, I can snipe them. Yeah, I can outduel them here and there, but not consistently. I know I'm not good enough, but I'd like to think I'm good enough to talk about what they're doing and kind of break it down for the broader audience,
Sure.
Hell yeah.
So I hope that there's opportunities in the future. I hope we get kind of spectator mode and custom games, and I hope companies want to invest in Destiny esports being successful. I want people to sponsor it and let it go.
Did you guys see those comments from Lars about
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that paragraph that you talked about saying, they're interested in it and they're willing if they see an interest post Destiny 2 getting released and the community coming together and wanting it in the game, then they're willing to talk about it and possibly move that direction.
And for the first month or two, people are saying, well, there's no custom games at launch. No one's going to have any weapons. No one's going to have any armor. Like, no one's going to know what the best build is. And
there's going to be a lot of grind.
Yeah, there's a lot of grind that has to happen in a game like this, which obviously as an esport is a little tough because if you're a new guy trying to get in, there's a lot you have to do just to be able to compete.
Right.
But at the same fashion, let's say 6 months down, or not even 6 months, let's say 3 months down the road, for the people that are hyper competitive and want to be in those tournaments, you can still make something work. People are going to have good enough guns that you could make it work, and it might not have as much balance as you'd hope for. But the other thing, too, you have to remember is the guns in this, for the most part, from what we've seen, have set roles. Mm-hmm. So they have set roles. Everyone says, these are the guns you can use. Here's a pool of guns you can use. As long as you have one of them, maybe you're able to compete. And it's not going to be that big gap between my Luck in the Chamber IS Luna versus yours without rangefinder and things like that. It's, I feel like it'll be balanced a lot easier. So,
yeah, and I think that's really the question. That's what needed to happen to get to that balancing point. But it's also begs the question of, cutting off your nose to spite your face. I mean, people are talking about it. Is it now too PvP focused, the mindset, and really at the detriment of PvE? And I think we still have a lot to see to make that judgment. I think there's going to be
play the game first.
We got to play the game. There's going to be for that to work, and I have a feeling that this is what we're going to have. We're going to have a crap ton of guns.
Yeah.
That's how this is going to work.
And like, sorry, you go, Patrick. I'll fill it out.
What I don't know. One of the things about like the whole the curated guns list is there's like, it's just because of PvP. Well, at the same time, there's really bad roles in PvE, right? Mm-hmm. And there's weapons that work in PvE that don't work in PvP. Weapons that work in PvP don't work in PvE. So I don't know. I like this
much of a factor though, right?
It never really is, but I mean,
well, for PvE,
you know, if we have these curated roles, I think I kind of like the idea of it more for PvE at the same time than PvP.
Interesting.
I mean, whenever you got a primary weapon that I can't even remember the name of the perk, but the perk that gives you a full magazine after you pop your super.
Replenish.
Replenish.
Yeah, replenish.
Whenever you get replenish on a primary weapon, it's just straight up trash can, right? Guerrilla fighter, replenish. It's like, why would you really use those? So having curated roles, if there is a ton of weapons, is hopefully going to remove that. Like, hopefully nobody's
all the
curating.
Best PvE weapons already like curated roles though? Like they all came from like raids and stuff.
No, not really. There's a lot of hidden gem type weapons that you had the possibility of getting, like the
you have
scout
a scout rifle that I'm jealous about. Man.
Yeah, the scout rifle.
Or Firefly.
Wherever, the one with Firefly and crowd control on it, and then like perfect bounce. It's like, oh, it has 18 rounds in the mag, and it's exploding everything and increasing my damage, just like the perfect PvE weapon. And that wasn't a curated role. There was the Hung Jury, which was arguably one of the strongest roles. At the same time, you could get that same role on something else.
Right. Yeah.
I guess.
Well, like snipers all came from raids, rocket launchers.
But maybe not the best
Ex
one.
Machina is arguably one of the best.
Yeah, but then I mean,
Genesis
like
Chain is a great primary.
Here's what I'm gonna miss, Tash. Like here's what I'm gonna miss about this. Is if I as a PvE player, I like to play mainly PvE. I really like to have those random roles and go out and build up wacky setups for doing PvE in crazy ways. And random roles always allowed me to get those things. So in a way, I feel like the curated roles takes that opportunity to get some of those wacky roles available.
True. Oh yeah, and I completely agree, especially like someone who likes guns and options. That if that's getting removed, that it does suck, and I feel bad for the people that's going to affect. But at the same time, isn't it frustrating getting like 10 of that same gun and all of them are garbage and you're just deleting them and it feels boring? What about
or just never getting it?
Yeah, we're never getting yeah. But what about knowing what a role is going to be and understanding, oh god, this Hung Jury 2.0 is at the end of this quest line, and if I do this quest line, I get that gun, and it's a sense of accomplishment, and you know you're going to get a good weapon at the end of it. I think that could be pretty rewarding. Or maybe if they are static roles, what if they start adding some more fun stuff? I'm not saying bring back Thorn, but what if there's a nice PvE burn damage on some sort of scout rifle, and it's this long quest line, or it is a 1% or 0.01% drop from a boss, and it's something you can farm for. And it's not, I'm going to farm, and hopefully we find some good weapons. It's, I'm farming for that weapon. You know,
that's a good point.
If people are going to hype it up, they're going to be like, oh my god, he got it. Okay, Triple Rec. Playing 16 hours straight for a Grasp of Malak. Random rolls, absolutely. What about Triple Rec grinding 17 hours, same situation for that one gun, and then he finally pops it? People are going to freak out. People are going to watch the video of his reaction just to that gun because it's a 0.01% chance of getting it. You know what I mean?
So the counter argument to that people are going to say is that then it removes the capability of people to get those weapons who don't have 16 hours to play that one instance. You know?
True. Yeah.
But then we come back to the argument: does everybody need to have everything all the time?
And I don't. Or
is it okay to have stuff that only the most hardcore of?
And some people don't ever have a good IS Luna. Like I know people that have been grinding just as long as I have, and they have terrible IS Lunas. So, I mean, at least they know that there's a guaranteed chance of getting that with a good roll if they work for it. Eventually, with an IS Luna, you could literally never get it just because you get unlucky.
I feel like people that are like, oh, it only has this % chance of dropping. I would then tell you the story of when I grinded for 4 years to try to get it out in World of Warcraft, where it got to a personal level where I hated this boss, and then on the last day when they took that thing out of the game, I ran it all my characters, didn't get it, had a beer, and then my roommate who ran it once that day, the very last day, then went in and got it.
That hurts.
RNG, man.
That story makes me happy on a very deep level.
Yeah, I smiles. I smile, like internal brightness happens. I think that if they have plenty of the things that like Tash is talking about, where you work towards this quest, you get a guaranteed drop for that quest, and it's a good weapon. They have like a base set of curated weapons that are really good that people can work towards, have easy paths, and then have they're really long tail type of weapons that take a lot of grinding and a lot of luck sprinkled throughout the end game. Like, I would love that personally, because that way people can jump in, they can get their stuff that they want, then they can feel like they can help in raids and all that. And then people who want to invest lots and lots of hours can actually work towards things that are...
There's reward for everybody.
Exactly,
Yeah.
rewards for everybody.
Yeah.
Do we know about the mod kits yet? Like, do we know what...
Not really.
No.
Okay, so let's say... Because people are going to be like, oh, well, let's say there's 100 of those weapons. I mean, that'd be great. Even 100 custom weapons with at the end of a quest line would be kind of cool. But what if these mod kits up the RPM or the shots per minute or whatever it is, or they drastically change the scopes that are available? You can really start customizing things then. And if you start adding those into the game, you start opening up options as well, because maybe everyone's fighting for that same quest line base gun, but then you can really customize it a little bit further. I'm not saying
do you think,
as much as like the Kvostov could. Like, you could do like 3 different kind of paths with it.
do you think the mods would be PvP also, or would it strictly be PvE?
It's tough to say. I have no idea. And maybe they're just small changes like 10% handling. Maybe they're just little boosts to optimize the gun the way you want. A little bit more stability, a little bit more range. I have no idea.
If the mods just do that, then I'm going to be less interested. If it's like 10% handling, I'm going to be like, oh, well, it just makes the gun feel slightly better. That, to me, the mods have to actually change the gun in some way to make me want to hunt them.
Right. What if there's different? What if there's different levels of,
common,
mods,
uncommon,
like
rare, legendary,
rare, legendary.
Yeah. What if you get
mythic.
What if you get an exotic mod that is for PvE, right? That turns your gun into shooting
marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
I'd love it.
For real.
Lucky Charms.
For real. Lucky Charms.
1,000 per minute Lucky Charms.
So like a hard life.
Delicious.
You're
Like a
right.
hard light.
I'm gonna go play Destiny 1.
No, it's
what we saw
crazy.
from the weapons in the beta. It didn't really answer a whole lot of questions for me. I mean, we saw that there were rolls, right? But we saw that intrinsic perk, right? And we know that we're going to be able to infuse weapons. So is that intrinsic weapon going to move toward the weapon that you infuse? Are you always going to have the same intrinsic perk no matter how many weapons you infuse into it? Are the mods going to be, like Mtashed says, like scopes and grips and stocks and like things that have an effect on the handling? Are they going to be purely cosmetic? I kind of don't want to know until the game comes out.
Too.
You know,
Me too.
Like,
Me too.
I'm kind of enjoying this mystery.
I think Bungie, if they want this game to last as long as possible, more customization is better. More optimization and that perfect roll. I think in most, because people still do the raids, like, which is shocking to me. Like, I get so bored of them so quickly, but people do the raids even at this stage in the game. But I think if I could realize, like, this gun could be 10% better if I finish that raid, I would still be doing it because I would care at that point. Right now, there's not as much incentive to do that. The more mods you add and ways to do it, and I guess you can argue like, oh, it's that continuous grind, I don't have time to do it, but at the same time, for those people that do have time to do it, the more you add and the
yeah, but that's what Destiny is, right? It's like that's one of the draws to Destiny. If you want to play a game where everybody just starts with on a level playing field, there's other games for that. You can
exactly.
Play Call of Duty and everybody's got the same weapons starting out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like there's other games that do that. This game is different, and that's one of the reasons that it's cool is because it is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree.
Yeah, and I really, it's exciting to be asking these questions and not know the answer. Right.
Like at all.
And
no leaks. No.
How far
hints.
are we? How far are we?
A month. Got a month till the game comes out.
Yeah. That is
It's the
some
third
scary
right now,
stuff.
so yeah, just over a month.
Cosmo talks about it in the THWAB of, just kind of being able to say that you have this much time left and kind of that not panicky feeling but just excitement for where they are in the process.
Yeah.
Speaking of the TWAB, Patrick, you pulled out a really interesting tidbit from that TWAB that I hadn't noticed. And can you talk about that a little bit?
Okay, so Destiny 2 PC beta is coming out, and I don't know about you guys, but this is kind of a content creator problem. But I still think it is kind of an interesting one because it does affect the entire community in a way. So PC Destiny 2 and third-party application feature compatibility. TLDR, this is what basically they aren't allowing any other programs to like inject stuff into the code of the game. So
or to interface with it, really,
or to interface with it. So it's a very iron fist approach to hopefully stopping hacking. The counterpart to this is, making content for the game on PC is going to require a little bit more investment than say Overwatch, where in OBS or XSplit I can just say capture game and then it runs through like DirectX and captures the game. It's fine. With this, or with basically the system that they're using, you're going to have to window capture, which is
if you're on the same PC.
If you're on the same PC. If you have a 2 PC setup, then none of this matters to you. But yeah, you're going to have to like window capture, or have like a capture card inside your computer and then split the signal and a bunch of other stuff.
Is this affecting 90% of the people playing the game?
No, this is totally.
No, this is going to affect the people who want to stream the game, or it's mostly going to affect the people who are just starting to want to stream the game, or just starting to upload videos to YouTube, and they wanted to use their PC to do that. It handicaps the guys that are, they can't financially throw a whole bunch of money at the problem. So it handicaps them a little bit just getting going,
But like how many more resources does it take to capture your monitor and then stream the monitor?
For if you have like a mid-tier rig, where
then it might
then it's gonna be kind of rough on you, because
okay, so I've got like see, I didn't even know about this. This is news to me. So I've got like an NVIDIA card with Shadow Play. I can just stream monitor capture and then Shadow Play save it.
Shadow Play is a workaround for it.
So Shadow Play works.
It's not a workaround. It's shown as it working.
NVIDIA Shadow Play and AMD Live are supported for streaming and game capture.
Yeah. So you can.
So if you guys have an NVIDIA card with Shadow Play, at least there's one option for you there to record some footage.
That's how we capture.
I'm glad that, because if I didn't have that, I'd start running into troubles, because I'm a one PC guy right now, and so I have to. If I'm doing anything on PC, I can stream my gameplay with monitor capture or whatever, and then I can.
I'm a one PC guy too.
I'm a one PC. I'm married to it.
I know. You can't go multiple PCs. These guys,
monogamy.
They're all multiple PC guys. You and I, we're those one PC guys. I'm
just tech illiterate in a lot of ways, and I don't know how to do 2 PCs. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. What do you do with all these wires, right? Like,
there are going to be workarounds to this, and like with a little bit of technical knowledge and a little bit of elbow grease, you're going to be able to figure this out.
Well, specifically window capture. That's how you can
window
get around
capture will work. NVIDIA Shadow Play will work. Using a capture card will work. Like, there's a bunch of ways to do it.
Yeah, I think actually the capture card route is probably the best. If you get like a USB capture card that you can just plug in, and then what you do is you have your display port running the actual game, and then you mirror that with an HDMI out. You send that HDMI out into the capture card, and then OBS can actually pick that up. So that for $150, that's another option.
Then it sends rendered video to your computer, so your computer's actually not rendering that video, which saves resources on your computer as well, as opposed to using OBS to actually render the video for you.
You'll have to walk me through that after the podcast, because I have no idea.
That's how I get 200 FPS when I'm playing a game, but it's still able to capture at 60 on my rig. You'll
have to walk me through that one.
You could even even play at a higher resolution and output a lower resolution.
This isn't affecting.
You can.
I've
done it.
Anybody
it works.
Streamers,
nice.
Right? So a lot of this stuff that they're talking about is content creators, right?
Yeah, it's a very situational type of thing. The experience though for the game is going to be better, because it is going to lock out all of the code injection that makes aimbots and a bunch of crap a lot easier. And I know a lot of people are thinking, well, Overwatch allows you to do this. Like, what the hell? Overwatch is on dedicated servers, so they can detect this stuff. They can be like, oh, that client is manipulating their code base. We can stomp that right away. In this case, anything that is client side in Destiny 2 has the capability of being manipulated if they allow code injection. So any kind of client side logic could be tampered with.
So 1-2 content creators get screwed of it, everyone else is getting defended. So it's like a net gain for the community. I would think, like, yeah, it might suck a little bit for me. Maybe I lose some FPS, but I would rather even when I'm playing the game, I'd rather be defended from some hacker.
For sure.
For the FPS loss or whatever.
One of the things.
It's a workable. There's solutions that are workable too, like for content creators, even content creators on a low budget, who need to get this done. There are workarounds. It's just that I think it was smart of Bungie to put this information out there so that people can start figuring this workaround out now, so that they're not surprised by it, like day one of the Destiny beta or day one of Destiny on PC release, and they're like, "Why can't I stream this or record this?"
Yeah. Yep. It's good.
Kind of thank you to Bungie for putting this information out there.
Instead of everyone panicking at launch, like, what's going on?
I can't game capture. What is this shit?
Imagine what the Twitter feed would look like if they hadn't put this information out there.
Exactly.
There's probably still going to be. There's probably still going to be a lot of people out there who didn't read this or didn't take note of this now, who are going to go on to Twitch, start trying to stream the beta, and then it doesn't work, and they're immediately going to go to Twitter and say, "What is up with this broken game?"
Destiny 2 is broke. Doesn't game capture.
other overlays also won't work. So like Discord, things that would do overlays to see who's talking in a voice client. All those voice client applications will still work. Everything will still work. You just won't be able to use like overlays and stuff on your game.
Like where it just pops up like a circle.
Yeah.
Saying this guy's talking. This guy's. What is this? I don't. You get what I'm saying. So it would just be that function, but you can still hear their voice. All that. It's not going to block it out.
The app will still run in the background, but you won't get the overlay that says who's talking.
It's unfortunate that they at the same time when they put that information out there, there were a lot of confused people. They're like, "What? I can't use Discord or Mumble with this?" It's like, no, you still can. You absolutely still can. Just please read it a little bit more.
With your brain.
That's tough. Brains are hard.
Yeah, tell me about it.
We also got a little bit of news about the PC version of the beta. It's actually going to be a little bit different than the console version.
Yeah, it's exciting.
New control.
Yeah, Tash,
I need to keep up with my news.
No, seriously, Tash, you need to listen. What? They're going to allow the PC beta people to do the raid.
Yeah, it's called the beta raid. It's actually happening.
The beta raid. It's true.
It's exciting.
So what's the actual difference?
On the PC, you're still going to get the Homecoming story mission, the Inverted Spire Strike countdown on Midtown, but Control will be a different map. It'll be Javelin 4, which we've never seen before.
A new map.
That's nice.
Yep. In addition, there's also they change based on the feedback that we got from, I assume, the beta and also just internal stuff. They did specifically say we've answered feedback on how often you have access to power ammo or your super abilities, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
I heard
they changed around the sandbox a little bit.
Yeah,
pretty much they're giving you more super in PvE, but I think obviously it'll transition into PvP, like how quickly you're getting your super back from kills, maybe, or just the timer, or both, or whatever.
They say the settings will be subtle, but they're really hoping that people who played the beta on console really spend some time and jump on the PC build, because that's valuable information in two parts. One, you're playing the beta and they need feedback from that PC beta build, but they also really value that person who's played both and can contrast the two. And comment on that. So they also shared some places on the forums where you can input information, and if you see anything that is coming up from your playing through of the game, you can be part of the solutions instead of the people screaming on the internet.
Also, PC gets to try out a new map while console users don't. The PC are going to be able to play Control on Javelin 4. Whatever map
that is.
That.
Console players got to play a map that PC players didn't either.
Get out of here with this.
Logic.
Where's my
I hate that logic, Briar. All right. Well, that's great. The THWAB was interesting. They talked about on August 8th, they're doing the servers for Destiny will be down in preparation for Destiny 2. Tuesday, August 8th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific. So if you're still planning your raids ahead of time and your time ahead of time with friends, or if that's the only time in your work schedule that you get a chance to play, make sure you put that in your calendar that the servers will be down this August 8th and prep for T2. All right. There is some interesting information on. Well, is there anything interesting in the doc, the What's Up doc? Any new stuff about the updates? I didn't see anything other than they're activating some of the clan features, and and they're going to start retiring some of the stuff for legacy consoles and Destiny 1 support. So that's going to be sunsetted for officially.
Speaking of sunsetting, did you guys get a chance to play any Iron Banner this week?
Yeah.
This is the last Iron Banner.
Yeah,
it is.
Of Destiny 1.
Yeah.
I jumped in for a little bit. I was wondering what you guys thought. You know, kind of like, what are your feelings about playing in your last Iron Banner?
Well,
was it glorious? No, I will be honest with you. No, I want to play Destiny 2. I don't want to play Iron Banner anymore.
Experienced a pretty one-dimensional meta, followed up with a lot of bullet eating and shots around the corners. It was just it was a fine time around the block through the Destiny Iron Lager. It was good.
I can't get past
Sounds
and like
good.
it's people don't twist my words here. I love Destiny, changed my life. It was a good game, but I'm burnt out. I cannot help but be burnt out. I've played 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 hours of this game, and I think if you do anything for that long, you're gonna get sick of it. And I can't get past 40 minutes to maybe an hour and a half because I usually time it because I'll start the stream with some Destiny, and today I broke my. I guess it's not a good thing. I broke my record. I got to 41 minutes, and I said, I can't do it. I have to do something else. I went and watched some YouTube videos on stream, and it still has its perks. I still got one kill at the beginning where I was like, ooh, I kind of felt good about it. But I'm just sick of it at this point, and I'm ready for the change, and I'm ready to, I guess, care about the game. I'm ready to get a blue gun and go, oh. Look, this is an upgrade.
Did you guys see that?
I'm ready to be excited.
Did you guys see that Lucky and Buttwipe got a? I think it was blue. I don't know if that was. There was
from the strike. There's a hidden, there's a hidden auto rifle. I think there was two weapons. I think there was a hidden auto rifle, and then he had a. I think it was a pulse. I want to say it was a pulse.
It was a glitch on Xbox. What happened was you had to get into an instance that had glitched out, and if you had started getting glimmer in that instance, then you would get. Blue engrams from Prothean once he died. Oh. So I spent a good 4 hours on Xbox trying to glitch an instance, unsuccessful. But I wanted the blue gear really bad
because we were locked into the same build, same guns. It was on like a loop. Mm-hmm. So they kind of broke that loop and said, "Oh, you're in the." Normal loop pool, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. So once you started seeing glimmer popping up, the instance had broken some way, and it was accessing the actual loot pool for when you killed Prothean.
That's really cool.
And those weapons were actually
imagine if they found
at
like
a higher light as well.
Gun.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it was dropping at like 203, 205. I saw a rocket launcher, class item, that auto rifle they had. There was a lot on there that because it was something to do with the networking. Like if somebody had left and then rejoined, and then the instance got switched around somehow, and then suddenly you were getting glimmer, and then you could actually kill Prothean and get that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I know. That's how thirsty we are for Destiny 2. We're
trying to
breaking an instance so we get glimmer to get blue items from a boss.
I mean,
I'm still freaking out. Oh my god!
I got Red Glitch and I spent about 5 hours.
I wonder if they would have broke the instance though, if they could start dismantling things and getting currencies. Did they test that? I wonder.
I don't know. Actually, it was the last day of the beta.
Yeah. Red Glitch and I spent about 5 hours just trying to get out of the map in every single way possible. We found the section of the map where you would this is where you enter into the area. So if we can get through this one section, then we can totally get to the rest of the map. And I don't know. My bet is that it's it probably wouldn't even load if we got in there. Just like how when you could break into the giant spire there's nothing but load.
Yeah.
But a glitcher getting in there, that's half the
fun.
Yeah.
I can see 90% of the fun.
90%. I see my son doing that. He spent hours playing Destiny just to get out of the map, and he loves it.
All you gotta do is go to Mars and have a Cabal with a shield punch you off of the
Punch you.
It's easy.
Give the old punch and go.
Well, so what else do we got to talk about?
Well, it's August, and it's hot as hell. And Destiny 2 is about a month away.
Yeah.
Yo, you built a new Destiny 2 PC, though. Teffy.
I did.
I saw your vlog today.
Nice.
Apparently, you've been playing on this for a couple of weeks, though.
Oh, yeah.
Just being like stealth about it, not telling anybody.
No, I've been telling people. Yeah, I've been saying like I built a rig.
Hear about it.
Is there photos of this? Is there
It's
like
a full vlog.
Yeah.
Where do I find this?
On my YouTube channel, man. I tweeted it. Yeah.
Oh,
I know. I was just shocked
right.
that he made a YouTube
gotta go
video
check it
as
out.
you were.
There you go. That was the real shocker. I posted something on YouTube. Yeah, it's an i7 7700K. I originally was gonna stick with my 980 Ti, but then the heat sink that I put on my CPU is massive. It's like
I think it is massive.
yeah, it's like a hot rod car type of thing where like it's popping out. It like one of those whatever CC engines, 500, 7,000 CC engine.
It looks like a Harley V-twin.
Yeah, there you go. That's sitting on the CPU, and the radiator for my 980 Ti, because it's a hybrid, didn't really fit the way I wanted to. So that gave me the emotional support to make the 1080 Ti purchase.
I was surprised you went with the 1080 Ti because you know as well as I do that NVIDIA's probably got brand new graphics card dropped in like in a few months.
I know, true. But what I wanted was a quiet one, and the Asus Strix is a very quiet air cooler. So I was like, well, for them to actually make the new cards that are super quiet, not like the actual Founders Edition or whatever, like the reference kind that are usually louder, I'd have to wait even more time for when they actually release the cards and so forth. So I was like, all right, if I get the Asus Strix right now, I can set it and forget it and not worry about upgrading this thing for like a long time. And also I'm trying to get
at least
as many
6 months.
At least 6 months, exactly.
Yeah, at least.
I'm also trying to get as many frames as possible on these games at 1080p. So my goal has been like 200 FPS. So
is the 980 Ti like a good card still though?
yeah, it's like a 1070.
That's the one I have.
Yeah.
I think I got my rig like a year ago. And like it would still dominate like most games, right?
Yeah,
And recording and all that stuff. Like I should
at 1080p you're fine.
And that's all I want. I'm not going to
your
limiter
limiter
for. I don't have a monitor for 4K.
These guys
your limiter for recording isn't so much your graphics card as it is your processor, right?
Yeah.
If you're recording and playing the game on the same PC, it's the processor that's got to kind of work both of those because it's got to encode video and display the game on the monitor.
I'll Google if mine's good enough. I think it's like an i47 something.
4790K.
Maybe I'll Google it after.
That's good.
I'll tell
yeah,
you. That's a good chip.
I think that's what it is though. Actually, now that
that's still a good chip. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I went with like a high end because I bought this 240 hertz monitor and it's a drug of the devil, man. I'm just like, okay, now I need to make sure this monitor is fully used, 200 FPS or higher on everything that I play.
I have mild regrets upgrading my monitors now as well to 144 or 1440p.
Once you get that taste, it's ridiculous.
I went out and got the same monitor you did, the 240. It's overclockable to 280 even. It's
right.
It's a ridiculous monitor. And I now have an i7 7700K on the way, which is just a 200 megahertz upgrade over the 6700K that I currently have.
You got to overclock, man.
And it's overclocked to 4.7. I could get it up to 4.8, but man, the heat is crazy.
I did 4.8 on mine. I actually originally did 5, but I don't need it to be 5, so I did 4.8. And even with the air cooler, it's still nice and cool. And
then I have a 1080. God, I am really thinking about getting a 1080 Ti or going 1080s in SLI.
Do it, Briar. Do it. Do it.
No, don't. I'll be the little voice of reason on your shoulder. You don't need it, Briar. Come on.
Frames.
What are you, my wife's house? Get out of here.
Look
at the office. It's my man place.
Trust me.
Welcome to the Church of Unlimited Frames, Briar.
I want to play a little game quick while we're sitting here. I want to know what is each of your absolute most excited thing for Destiny 2? Just like a quick thing.
New end game.
Patrol? Endgame? Okay.
Having something to talk about besides
PC specs.
Beautiful.
It's a little different.
You're just not.
But it's what I feel. It's what I feel in the moment.
You're just not indoctrinated to the Church of Unlimited Frames.
Patrick. Patrick.
Yes.
What's your answer? You're just sitting there, frozen in time. What's your answer?
What am I looking forward to most in Destiny 2?
No, just like the one thing right now, like top of your head. I want that. I cannot wait for it. Let's go.
Jesus.
I know there's a lot.
There's a 2 on it, man. There's a 2 on the game. Everything that the sequel.
He's a 2 guy. He's a 2 PC guy. What did I tell you?
No, I'm not a 2 PC. I'm just sitting over here with 1 PC, and I'm going like, God, how am I going to properly capture stuff? Man, I should probably just get another PC.
He's the worst kind of 2 PC guy. He's a 2 PC guy that only has 1 PC.
The reluctant 2 PC guy.
he's the 1 PC guy that's still in the closet.
Monogamy, not by choice.
he's just waiting for that sexy PC to come knocking on the door.
Get yourself a Threadripper, man. Come on, it's coming out.
Ooh, so many threads.
Perfect.
So many rippings.
If you need to, Patrick, just get a laptop
for a stream rig.
Get a laptop for a little bit, and then and then
yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Or razor blade.
Toss it aside, and you can get a PC.
I have a laptop already, and
well, then you have 2 PCs.
Yeah,
you're already I got the 2 PC setup. I got the 2 PC setup.
Is that a sponsored laptop there, bud? Or are you trying to show off?
What?
What? No.
Who is this? Asus ROG?
This Asus ROG laptop over here is about 2 years old and was a budget thing when I got it. I highly recommend it. I'm not even sure if that could play Destiny 2.
Oh, you need another computer to stream.
Is everybody in here going to get the PC, the beta? Is going to play the PC beta?
I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah, Tefty doesn't like Destiny.
I'm going to play it on 2 computers at once.
I don't want to know that it can't not do 200 FPS, so I'm just not going to play it.
I'm gonna hook up a KVM switch, mirror my keyboard and mouse to 2 different computers. We are good to go. Stereoscopic vision. On?
I would. That's a video I'd watch to see what happens. You get like matched up into 2 PvP games.
That would be funny. That would be actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
If I could get like I don't know, like one of the Razer desktop things, and I'd definitely go into the. I just don't want to. I don't want to spend money on another PC right now, either if it's a laptop or anything.
I feel like that's actually how I was this last month too, because I was like, I don't want to spend this money. Like, I need to save for taxes and possibly the future and all that stuff. And
I'm over here trying. I'm trying to build a new PC. That'd be fucking sweet. My Magic card collection needs to grow a little bit more because the reserve list is just getting kind of crazy over here. Underground Seas are up to $500 a piece.
There you go. Sell a couple of those.
That sounds like your PC right there, man.
Just sell some of your cards. I don't
have any. I'm trying to acquire them.
You don't have any cards?
Oh. Do you know what? You should
Underground Seas.
I thought you were a Magic
RuneScape
fan. You don't have any Magic fans?
Like, just grind RuneScape and then sell the gold as a side income.
Oh, dude, you're right. I still have like a $250,000 golden WoW. I could probably sell that.
What?
Just sell your WoW.
Do it. Sell your. Hey, okay.
I can't sell my
Venezuela.
WoW account.
The Venezuelan dollar is lower than WoW gold in American conversion rate currency. The Venezuelan legitimate dollar is cheaper, or I guess you get less American dollars for it than 1 WoW gold.
Wow.
Come on, that's disgusting.
Then that's 1 amazing. WoW gold,
or maybe not 1 WoW gold, but like
the conversion rate's usually like
let's say like if you, per 1,000 gold. So maybe it's like 1 iteration of like the standard currency exchange of that. Yeah, it's the Venezuelan dollars. Like you get like 10,000 per $1, something like that, or something. It's bad. It's really bad.
That's rough. Because I remember.
So sell that WoW gold right now, man.
I should sell it in Venezuelan.
I guess the question is, do you care enough about the game that the virtual currency?
Are you committed enough to your fans? That's really what it is.
Okay, I mean,
your fans who want to see the best possible video quality. Are you committed enough to your fans to go out and purchase what's needed?
That you are just stabbing a dagger into me, because I love my fans. Man. I love my fans, but right now,
not enough apparently.
That's not enough apparently. It's like, nope, you guys are worth it. But when I see the user statistics and see 80% of you guys are watching on a fucking mobile device, I really don't give a shit about
4K.
I really don't. For the other 20% of you guys that are watching on TV or whatever the hell else that maybe is able to, sorry.
Is that weapon review going to be good enough at 1080p? That's my question.
My question is,
yes, it is.
That weapon review gain more from being rendered at 4K.
That's going to be the thing, though. People are going to come in and be like, oh, what is this non-4K footage? This is going to make me throw up, cringe. Like, come on. I can't even afford one monitor, let alone something to stream and play the game on 4K.
Well, when I'm making my weapon reviews, I like to use some of these wild mics and also headphones to edit the audio. It's just some of the iconic gear that Blue creates. Blue's award-winning products are the driving force behind professional musicians, internet creators, and countless elite gaming teams and Twitch streamers. Their Yeti USB mic is the internet's most popular microphone, and their Sadie and Lola headphones deliver insane sound and a very personalized fit. Blue offers everything you need to completely immerse yourself in the ultimate gameplay experience. Learn more about Blue at bluemic.com.
Excellent.
I really hope me touching the mic didn't get in the recording, but...
Oh, it totally did. Have fun with that, Nick.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. Patrick is legit a happier person now that he doesn't have to do the podcast, edit the podcast anymore.
Oh my God. It's like, okay, so
Sure,
a couple of weeks ago, like a month or so ago, when I was like, hey, we need someone to edit video, one of our listeners was like, hey, I can do audio. And I was like, I need that more than video right now.
Yeah.
And now that we got that, it's like, oh, when Destiny 2 comes around, I'm not gonna fucking have the time to sit here and make content and also edit the podcast and everything else. So,
right,
really great situation that we're in now, where we have an audio editor. And he lives in Australia too, so it's not like he's having to stay up like to ungodly hours like we normally do.
He's just fighting them drop bears and riding kangaroos.
Nick in chat is our audio editor, which I should probably figure out a way we can add his credit to the website.
Yeah, that's not hard to do.
That should be done right away.
Yeah, that takes almost 15 seconds.
Yeah. That's like, the effort
worth
like shuffling your Magic card decks. Like one shuffle.
It depends on if you're doing a riffle shuffle or a bridge shuffle. Sometimes
it's on the same effort level of adding Nick's portfolio right there, or his credits.
Literally, when we badgered you for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to add to Google Play, it was literally
and then I did it, and
copy
you had to do
pasting it.
And,
yeah,
and then you had to do it because I couldn't.
Right.
And it wasn't because I wasn't willing.
It was
because I didn't have any of the information. Everything was locked.
That's not true.
Yeah, right.
All of that stuff is in the Twitter chat. All right, let's do some Twitter questions. Speaking of Twitter, let's do some Twitter questions. Samuel Gustafson says, Rumble King's thoughts on no Rumble in Destiny 2?
Yes,
it's a question, King. Not a statement. I read it like it was a statement, but that's my bad.
How could this happen to me? I made my... do you know what? Okay, I think Rumble is one of the best ways for a newer player to just get in it, get dirty, fail, but then succeed. I think it's a really good learning opportunity, and being able to control a little portion of the map and hold it down, I think it's a great opportunity for you to improve as a player. But also...
That sounds a lot like dating, man. Just being honest with you.
I also think that Rumble is a bit of a cluster F. Yes. And at times if you're not there to learn, it's just, it's a you can dink around in Rumble, get warmed up and move along. I think that playing in a 4v4 game mode all the time has great opportunities to succeed too. And it sucks. I'd like to have the Rumble feature there, but I'm not going to complain about it because I'll just work on getting better at 4v4. And I don't know. If the maps aren't balanced for Rumble, then throwing Rumble in there, it might not be a good experience because you get spawn trapped or, you keep getting terrible spawns and all that. So I'm just going to accept it and move on. I think other people should too. And just,
I'm gonna
what are you going to do? You're going to cry about it and complain about it? If it's gone, it's gone. And
I might cry about it. I'm not going to complain about it too much, but I am going to cry about it a little bit because I will miss it. It's been one of my favorite game modes for the last 3 years. It was one of my favorite game modes called Free For All and Call of Duty. It's always been one of those things where it's easy to just jump in, low stress, spend 15 minutes, half an hour, play a couple of games. You don't have to get a friends list going. You can just jump in by yourself. You don't have to worry about what your idiot Blueberry teammates are doing. You don't have to worry about anything. You're just out there by yourself, and your performance is based just on what you do. And it's one of the few game modes like that.
Yeah, I'll say I'm not really gonna miss it, but when I was getting like footage for weapons and stuff, Rumble was one of the best ways to go in and test a weapon, because it's like everybody you can shoot that you see.
I guess I would like to see statistics on how much Rumble is played compared to everything else. Like, I know in Call of Duty, the free-for-all playlist is one of the most dead. If you go into any Call of Duty, you go through it, and sometimes it says how many people are playing it. Free-for-all is usually pretty low on the list. And so maybe, you know, with Activision being there, with Bungie being there, they're saying it's not really valuable because there's not enough people playing it. So we'll balance it on the team games that everyone is playing. It's really tough to say until you see stats. I'd love to know. I'd really like to know. Am I the only guy playing Rumble and the 20 other people that I only play because of skill-based matchmaking? Is there only 40 of us total anyway?
It feels like it. If every time I've gone to Rumble all like 6 times, it's like, oh, I'm playing the same people in every lobby that I go into.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens every playlist, though.
No matter the game mode.
Yeah.
The Vanguard says, who does these amazing drawings? I just threw that one in there so we could pimp out Ash a little bit. That's the wrong word.
That is very much
to
the wrong
promote
word.
Ash's artwork.
I don't know if we pimp out Ash. That's not.
Yeah, that was the wrong choice of word. We love Ash. She does amazing artwork. But I thought it was a good time too.
For a good time, make
sure Briar's choice of words were not representative of the entire DCP crew.
But she does amazing artwork every week, and it's great that you guys notice. I think it adds to the podcast. Frankly, it's like it adds a level of professionalism. It adds a bit of customization to each episode. It's not something you get from every podcast. Then making the poster that we saw at Guardian Con was amazing. You know, like it's actually, I think, a pretty significant part of the podcast.
Yeah. Yep.
Loopy Zombie King says, how do you guys feel about the Rockstar engrams we get from the cans? We didn't talk about this.
Yeah, this is something that came up. So you can get loot for drinking Rockstar Energy, essentially, in Destiny 2. Redeemable codes, kind of like how they did in XP boosters with Red Bull when Destiny came out. Or Destiny, I guess the Taken King, that happened.
Hashtag not sponsored.
But, like, what's the loot? Is it like some blue, or like is it like stylized stuff? Or
you can get engrams. Engrams will drop.
Okay, but if it's like a legitimate engram, okay, you know what? If you're gonna go spend $500 farming codes so you can get some gear, like, go for it, dude. I'm not gonna complain. Like, I get it's kind of pay to win in that sense, but seriously,
it's a maximum of like 4 engrams a week too. It's not like
is it?
Yeah, it's not a lot of engrams.
So you can get 4 engrams for drinking Rockstar Energy.
Yeah.
Go get a heart attack for your engrams, buddy. Like,
large tart. Here I come.
Did anybody see the pictures they put on the cans though? I couldn't believe this made it through marketing, because they put on the original can, they put like a white dude, like a white dude Titan. On the Fruit Punch one, they put a black warlock. A black dude as a warlock. And on the 0 calorie version, they put a white girl as a hunter. Like, did nobody like check to see? This is a little stereotyped, isn't it? I found that to be actually hilarious.
A little bit.
How does that make it through?
It is a bit of a stereotype, I think. But I don't know. It didn't strike me that way though. Like, it wasn't like that obviously blatantly obvious.
I'm just sitting over here going, man, Rockstar Energy drinks. That's something I've never had. Oh, there's Destiny promotion. Yeah, still not gonna have it.
Yeah, I have no interest in buying those cans personally.
Yeah, I have no interest. If someone wants to hook, if the Activision, how about this? You guys get with Community Coffee and do a promotion through a coffee person. Then what? Then you'll get my ear.
You went pretty hard on the when they did the Red Bull promotion, and they were doing
a pallet.
No, I bought 3 pallets.
3 pallets?
Mm-hmm.
A pallet?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not like a pallet, like the wood pallet all stacked up, but
that's
like
what a pallet is.
That's what a pallet is. But like
the
cases.
Like a big case.
A case is more reasonable. I was about to say
a case that has about 50 of them in it.
That's not reasonable, but Jesus.
I probably bought about maybe under 100.
How did you feel about drinking all that Red Bull? Did you drink it actually?
He's still hyper.
It is.
Have you been to the doctor?
I drink a bunch of it, and consequently, I can't drink any more of those. So I don't know. It's bad for you. It's extremely bad for you.
Yeah.
All those energy drinks are absolutely.
Says who?
horrific.
A doctor?
Yeah, that's a doctor.
I believe that.
Qualified physician telling you how you should run your dietary restrictions.
That's right. I mean, I actually had hair before I started drinking Red Bull, and
at least you have wings. Can we see the wings? I'd like to see your wings, please.
Oh, they fell off. They only last while you're drinking them.
Oh, that's the trick. Keeps you
but
coming
the hair is gone forever. I'll tell you that much.
It's nice and gone. Yeah.
One Rover 626 says, "Do you think Bungie should get rid of the only one exotic rule for the end of Destiny? Make us crazy powerful."
No, I like it makes interesting builds. You have to choose. Like interesting things happen because you have to choose.
He's specifically talking about Destiny, not Destiny 2, I believe.
Oh, it's Destiny 1.
He's talking about, like, now that the game is basically over, like, to lift those restrictions.
Yeah, let people DDoS, make weapons incredibly powerful, all of it.
At this point
Why
in the game...
are you playing Destiny 1 anymore if you can play Destiny 2? If you want all of your exotics and play Destiny 1, you go for it.
But
let the melee go across the entire map. Fun.
Yeah, at this point, you could announce a patch for Destiny 1 that was like, okay, Mayhem mode is active for all modes. Mayhem is now double Mayhem. You just always have your super active. You can have all exotics. Everything's an exotic now. Hawkmoon now shoots Gallarhorn rockets. Go. And I would still probably not go back. I still wouldn't go back to it if Destiny 2 is out.
Sorry, in chat, Sergeant C. Slaughter, the game isn't over for everyone. Exactly. So if you go do that and you remove all the restrictions like that, then you just screw the whole player base that is still playing the game. That's kind of what I mean too, is like, if you go and change the way the entire game is played for the last people, what if they're saying, no, I don't want that. Like you just ruined what I was playing.
Yeah.
And continue to play because I can't afford Destiny 2. And so I think if you mess with the formula too heavy like that, it could have some really negative repercussions.
There is quite a few people.
I think they want to protect
there's quite a few people right now.
That people will go back to and see, 2 years from now, like, hey, as a lark, let's go back and play Vault of Glass, or let's go play some PvP in Destiny 1 and, remember the old days. People will be doing that. And if they ruin the game in a way like that, I don't know. Arguably, that's ruining the game. Arguably, it's not. But
there's also a lot of people right now that are picking up Destiny 1 because they are interested in Destiny 2. And people are saying, oh, go check out Destiny 1, see how it plays, see if you like it, and jump in. So I've had a lot of people come in the chat recently just be like, should I buy Destiny 1 right now?
Yeah.
So
a lot of people. Yeah. James O'Connor says, with the obvious shift toward prioritizing PvP, is there a worry the next raid won't be as unique feeling as Destiny 1 raids? I would argue that initial statement, the obvious shift toward prioritizing PvP, it's hard to make that statement without having played any PvE to speak of.
We played one strike.
Okay, so let's say they're balancing a little bit more heavily. We don't even know what all the guns are. There might be some epic, beautiful, fun to use weapons that shoot so the cold fusion, that's kind of a cool weapon. It shoots out. How do we know there's not more cool weapons that we've never seen before? Dubious volley looks kind of interesting. Maybe guns have cool burns, or maybe it shoots out 2 bullets after you upgrade, or little things like that. Who knows?
At the same time,
style.
Yeah, at the same time, even if you have even if you're like, they changed the way the weapon sandbox works, you still have the new class abilities, particularly the Warlock and the Titan ones, that add a lot of possibilities in a PvE environment for raids. Oh my God.
Motorcycle. And, there's going to be those abilities, and then you throw in these new exploration. What are the Lost sectors? Like, this is a whole new experience that might be phenomenal. It might be so much fun. And, with the balanced weapons or whatever you want to say there, they're adding probably I don't know, what, 4 times the amount of PvE content? If I had to just guess like a small number, lost sectors, more like bigger maps for the exploration in just the patrols. 50 plus cutscenes, you know, I'm guessing just based on that first mission, if they keep up that tempo, the story is going to kick the shit out of the first one. So I don't know if this is an adjustment towards PvP. I think they might be balancing it, but they're adding a lot of game for the people that like the missions.
We've played a lot more PvP than we play PvE. At this point, you know, like, let's give it a chance. Let's play the game before we decide that they ruin PvE in favor of PvP. Also, is there a worry that the next raid won't be as unique feeling as Destiny 1 raids? In my honest opinion, the raids got less unique feeling kind of as they went. So to get a fresh new take on a raid would be really welcome right now because, you know, I spent less time with the raids as they went, you know, and the first one was, in my opinion, the best one because it was so unique. And then kind of by the time we got to Wrath of the Machine, I mean, it was visually stunning and it was epic, but it felt like a Destiny raid, right? We knew how to approach it. It was not a big shocker as far as mechanics and
This is the damage phase. This is the survival phase.
Right,
this is the unless we do this one thing, we all die phase.
But to underscore that, we had the King's Fall and Wrath of the Machine both for an entire year. Whereas,
that's a good point.
You know, in year one we had 2 raids to kind of rotate from. So that
and then Skolas.
Yeah,
Prison of Elgato.
Do you guys think? So I don't know what the true stance is on. Yeah, don't try it. I don't know what the true numbers are on Destiny pre-orders. It seems like from the beta there were some people hating, and there are people saying like, "Oh, they shift to PvP." You know, they're convinced. I guess I'm sorry. I don't mean to say that in a way that I'm talking bad about you, the person that said that. I'm not trying to like shit talk you. It's just, it seems that people are very set in their ways and their opinions of Destiny. Yeah. Do you think that Destiny 2 will grow after launch and people get their hands on it? Where it seemed like some people with Destiny 1, super hyped, they pre-ordered the game, and then they fell off. With this game, do you think
there's a lot riding on the review scores? People are going to be waiting to see those review scores. I think there are a lot of pre-orders, but I think a lot of those are, I don't know, have demographics. I don't have any numbers, but my guess is that a lot of the pre-orders are coming from people who are Destiny fans. A lot of people, there's probably a lot of PC players who are really excited about it because they watched Destiny being played, but they never had a chance to play it. But a lot of people are watching for those review scores. Is it going to be another 7 out of 10 from IGN? Is it going to be another 6 out of 10 from some other review site? Is it another Destiny? A lot of potential, but not quite there. I think if that happens again, it's going to cost Destiny a lot of sales because, you know, people played that 7 out of 10 game and bounced off of it after a month. You know, a lot of people played it that first month and bounced off. And if they see those review scores, those same people see those review scores, they're going to be like, I'm not going to do it again. You know, there's so much coming out this fall, too. But if it comes out with 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s, I could see a lot of people.
I don't know if that's really going to dictate the actual growth because what kept Destiny going was the fact that the raids and the loot and the type of end game that it kind of felt like it had. I
was talking more about day one, but if it is a good game and people continue to play it like they played Destiny 1, then yeah, you'll see it grow again like you saw Destiny 1 grow. And it's got a whole new group of gamers.
Well, to answer Tash's question,
get involved.
He's asking, is it going to grow beyond the release? Like, yeah, it's got big pre-order hype right now, but will it sustain beyond that? And I think it completely depends on how they handle the end game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yep.
And the DLCs.
Yeah, that's true too. If the DLCs are just kind of, you know, not what we're looking for.
That's where the growth comes from.
Yeah, if it doesn't have the interesting expansion of, let's say, a raid and like a different end game type of restructuring and all that, if it's just more things that we're not really interested in as a community, then it's going to hurt it. But if it is interesting and they can sustain that momentum, then it's going to have explosive growth because people want to play more.
A game like growing after launch is basically entirely dependent on how content comes after launch. I don't think there's a single game that gets released and then just like with no new content, we'll see significant growth.
Mm-hmm.
PUBG, dude, it's an early access game that's still seeing constant updates.
Updates, but not new content. I guess this week it got new content in the form of now you can play on first-person servers. But
PUBG is also a continuation, essentially, of King of the Hill from H1Z1. It's like H1Z1 had a lot of problems and they didn't do much updates, and then it was like, here's PUBG, let's fix all these problems. And then H1Z1's dropped, and now like all that audience shifted over. So it already had like a pre-installed fan base of that type of game.
So does Destiny.
Yeah.
They're different games though. And a game like Destiny, it's entirely dependent on new content coming in my opinion. And I think we will see nice explosive growth at the start with, probably growth continuing into PC, and then after that, we'll see spikes at major patches, major DLC drops, and stuff like that.
I know that Destiny loses my interest for sure when they don't,
of course,
update the game.
Yeah,
like when they don't have DLCs on the horizon, and we go long stretches playing the same stuff over and over again, it loses my interest. And right now, it's lost it almost completely. Like I have no interest in playing Destiny
because you're playing PUBG.
True. In Fortnite.
Oh yeah, Fortnite's been great.
Fortnite scratches that itch for me.
Something that we did not talk about, at least I don't think we did, was the investor call saying that all the pre-orders are more than Destiny 1, and there was more players in the beta than Destiny 1's beta. So,
which is shocking to me. If you told me that was going to be the truth, I would never have thought that's true, because people were hyped. Okay, so the first time I heard about Destiny, I was actually in Mexico with some friends, and I was just talking with them, and they're like, "Oh, have you heard about that new game that's made by Bungie?" And they started talking about it. I was fantasizing about this game before I had any details. I was so excited. There were so many people that I thought were in the same boat as me and pre-ordering it, and then with the reception of Destiny 1 and also the reception of the beta, and I'd heard, I'd look on Twitter and people like, I'm canceling it, and people on Reddit saying they didn't like it. I was convinced that Destiny 2 was in trouble. And when I found out that they had more pre-orders, and whether you say it's like, oh, well, they added PC or not, there was 4 consoles before.
True.
Right? And now there's technically 3 ways to play it. And so I don't know what the stats are on all that, but it seemed shocking to me that people are still extremely hyped for Destiny 2 with the responses that I have seen online. It's really,
and the wording is something along the lines of it like being an extremely strong pre-order, as in not just barely taking it. It's like it is without a doubt the most pre-order.
Ducking it over there. They're like swimming in there.
Yeah, they're like without a doubt extremely high pre-order sales right now for Destiny 2, and the numbers for the beta were extremely high, way more than the last beta. So,
related to what you said earlier, Tefty, with all these people coming over and saying, I never got into Destiny. Should I pick it up before I get Destiny 2? I think that's a pretty strong indication that Destiny 2 is on the horizon for people who didn't even play Destiny 1.
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking about it right now.
Yeah. I mean, I see that comment a lot, too. I'm sure everybody who streams does right now.
Yeah.
I've had that question at a greater frequency the closer we get to Destiny 2.
Yeah. What do you guys say to it? What do you guys answer?
I've been like perfectly honest right now. I've been like, honestly, I would wait. Just like it's about a month away.
Yeah, I'm telling people like if you're on PC only, don't buy a console just to try to play Destiny 1.
No, I wouldn't buy a console. But if you can find a copy of like the Legendary Edition or whatever, like that newest Days of Iron edition,
the collection.
Yeah, like you can burn through that story in a weekend and kind of be up to speed.
If it's something that you have interest in and you can find it for cheap, go for it. There's no harm in playing it.
Like I like to, if a big sequel's coming out and I didn't play the prequel, and sometimes even if I played it but it was years ago and forgot it, kind of forgot the story, I'll play through it again just to kind of just get up to speed. Like, what is this world all about? Like, who are the major players here? So that when I jump into the sequel, I'm kind of up to speed.
Mm-hmm.
I did that with the Halo games to catch up with the next one.
Sure.
A lot, just to make sure I was on par with the story.
Yeah. I just we're a month away. Like you're literally a month away right now, and if you got nothing better to do, yeah, absolutely buy the copy. But if there's other kind of games on your horizon, if you're trying to catch up in the Destiny world to then be able to be ready for Destiny 2, I'm like, well, it's a rebalance for everything. You're honestly fine just starting out with Destiny 2. and going from there.
Yeah, I think you are
know what? You might be better because you won't have bad habits of wanting to Titan skate all the time or little things like that. You don't. You'll maybe approach fights differently because I found, especially when I first started, I'd be ramming into the B zone. You know, maybe not Titan skating, but I have that hyper aggressive feeling all the time.
Yeah.
And then I realized it's like, no, I got to play a little bit slower. I got to play a little smarter here. I can't just push in by myself because I'm going to get destroyed by two people or just, someone who's better than me. You know how it is. So.
Yeah, it's gonna take a very long time to break the habit of 3 years of Bones of AO with a hunter. It's gonna take a very long time to not.
Oh yeah, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Satan's Monkey says, will Bungie be better custodians of Destiny 2 than they were of Destiny 1? Examples, time between updates, broken PvP metas, no heavy ammo, etc.
They better.
They better. Hope so.
That's all I'm saying is, can you imagine if they go another 6 months, 9 months of people begging, please do something about firebolts. Firebolts. That's how you get people to quit. In my opinion, is not addressing it or talking or like giving any sort of timeline for when those changes will happen. When you put out like a potential patch note, people get really excited knowing that little things are changing, and I think it honestly, I think it gives them hope to keep holding out. They're like, okay, something will be done about it eventually.
Remember when they did a live stream for a hot fix?
Yeah.
You remember that? The live stream for a hotfix?
Yep.
And then it was like one of the largest streams on Twitch at the time.
Oh, no.
Do you remember
the one?
Do you remember when they didn't talk to us for like 3 months and added skill-based matchmaking and we're talking about the next DLC?
And denied it?
Yeah. I don't know. I think just... I don't see the problem with, constant conversation. One thing that I think universally everyone liked was Josh Hammer talking on Twitter about whatever. It felt like there was an actual back and forth conversation with the community, and that's the one thing that needs to be more consistent.
It really
with Bungie in regards to patches. If you're not gonna have the constant
roadmaps too, I feel like they really need to stick with roadmaps. Like we need to know that content is coming, approximately when it's coming, how often it's coming. When we have long stretches of time where we have no idea if there's new content coming this year, that's rough. That's real rough. And not just as a content creator, as a player of the game, as a fan. Person who has, as a fan who has friends that play the game weekly with, who are getting upset because they're bored of running Kingsfall for, 3 months straight, 4 months straight, and they're wondering what the next raid is going to be and what the next content is going to be. That was a rough time.
I gotta say, Bungie needs to work on their communication tremendously, because I've been looking at some other companies. Warframe is a great example. They're obviously smaller, the community's smaller, but they've done they do these developer streams, and they're doing this update, Plains of Eidolon, and it's a big change for their game. And it's the 96th time that they've done this stream where the developers come on and they talk about what they're doing, and it's like an hour long, and they're showing production pieces, they're showing time lapses, they're showing things that are changing in the game. And Warframe's been out since like 2013. This is the 96th one of these streams. 96. We can count on like 2 hands the number of times Bungie has come on stream and given us information about what's happening with their game, and in general, like how they're changing things. It kind of blew me away. I was like, Bungie needs to change their dynamic with how they communicate to the community dramatically. The TWAB is great, and I love Deej and Cosmo. They do as much as they possibly can to get information out of the developers to give us. But the developers themselves are extremely closed off, and they're not willing to share information that we would just love to have and like dive into and just be a part of their world. Like we even just a little bit. Like if we saw one of those the Vandals that go invisible, just like a little graphic or like a GIF or something of them changing the Vandal into into one of those invisible. I can't remember the name. Whatever.
Call it a Marauder.
Yeah, a Marauder. Changing the Marauder. Like that was just a little something of information they gave us in like a 30-minute stream or something. I know it takes time out of their job, so that's probably one of the reasons why they don't do it. And they probably have like segmented parts of the community or the workplace that doesn't want to come together and talk about those things. But it does such an incredible job to give us information that we just latch onto as a community. So
I think, as you said before too, like the talk about a lot of hype and then the game falls off or it builds over time. If you keep showing them like it's getting better, it's getting better, this is changing, we're adding this, people start talking about it. And so, in a great example, and I'm glad you said it because I couldn't remember the game, is Warframe. Yeah. Warframe's been out for a while. The player base is growing right now, like 4 years later, because there is a big patch coming, but also people are just saying it's a good game. Like, just try it. And then people try it, and now the hype is really building 4 years later. If they want that sort of success, long-term success, and growth from the community, they have to come out with a strong game, but they have to prove it's going to continue going, and the train is rolling, and we're going to move down the tracks, and it's going to get sexier and sexier at every stop.
I'm telling you, man, that 96 times the Warframe developers have done one of those streams giving like information about how they're developing the game. I was like, 96 times? I would love to see just like a couple streams from Bungie. You know, like the ride-alongs have been a few and far between. They need to bring them back. They need to bring the developers on. They need to show some things that they're working on. Like, let us into that world a little bit so we don't feel like we want to like bite each other's heads off when there's nothing to do.
Right.
I got to say about Warframe too. I hadn't played that game since the launch of the PS4. It was, it was one of the free games that was available with the launch of the PS4. I was watching some streams of that over the last, I don't know, a week or two. That game is intensely different from what I remember. And now they're adding an open world to it. Like, holy shit, they're really making some changes to that game.
Are we making new accounts? Is that what
I think so.
I started playing last month. I just completed the War Within quest last night. Or
actually, no, I was watching a little bit last night.
I just made a new account called Mtashed Mustache.
And I think you had like some like gray and red armor. It's so nice.
Oh yeah, that was a gift. Somebody hooked me up to. I looked. Fashion Frame is apparently the real end game in that. Trying to look as good as possible. Good. Yeah, as a space ninja. Cool. The game is honestly amazing what they've done, especially being free to play. And there's a lot of things in Warframe that I'd love to see in Destiny, both in like gameplay, but also community developer relationships.
Have you spent any money in it?
I did, but because I wanted to support the developers. You don't have to spend any money. You can get everything for free so long as you put time into it. It's pay to speed things up, essentially.
Okay, so that's okay. So is it like experience gained things, or is it like you can upgrade easier? So like if I'm spending money and we both play at the same time, can I get my guy to the higher level faster, or can I get quite a bit better gear faster?
You can get better gear faster, but it's not the same type of thing of where you're suddenly like dominating that person or anything. It's not like that. There is PvP in the game, but the game is way more focused on PvE. So people play together, they help each other. The community is very supportive, and trading is heavily emphasized. Like they encourage people to be able to trade anything. So you can get a blueprint for a weapon and go and say, I want to trade this I'm looking for this type of thing, and other people will be willing to be like, yeah, I got that. I actually want to trade for that blueprint. So it's very encouraged. But there's like crap tons of stuff in the game, way more than what we have right now. If you look at all the mods and all that compared to Destiny. So
I wonder if there will be a Destiny 3 and 4, or if Destiny 2 will become like the platform that kind of they build on for years to come. Like I wonder what their plan is for that.
Considering that it's an active, like I feel like Activision might have some role to play in that, where where it's not going to be an expansion to Call of Duty. Not going to be that anymore. It's going to be, eventually there's just going to be Destiny 3. Destiny 4, Destiny 5.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think it'll be eventually like, and let's say it is Destiny 3, you don't think it'll be like Destiny 3 and then we're expanding on it, like, because Warcraft is Warcraft and then you've got expansions added on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't think they'll ever hit a point where this is Destiny and now we'll add content to this version. This is what we want the game to be.
I don't think so.
I think they might. I mean, the games as a service model, I think, is really getting stronger. I think they've seen that with Destiny 1. I think they wanted to cut away from Destiny 1 because there's so many things they wanted to change about it, and they wanted to probably get away from those original review scores. So Destiny 2 was a no-brainer. But like if you look at games like World of Warcraft or Warframe or these games as service kind of things that just stick around for years and years and years, and they keep just selling expansions and they have microtransactions, and you don't have to ever develop like World of Warcraft 2 because you can just do expansions and build upon what you've already developed. I think it's it's a cool thing. I don't know.
I also think though, if you're going to do it that way, you have to have trading, crafting, some sort of skills, because people will run out of things to do way too quickly. How are you going to play Destiny for 5 years if they don't add more things?
Mechanics.
Right. Well, that's the thing. They've got to do that. They've got to add more.
And get that weapon mod that I've been looking for, that exotic weapon mod, and you have a 2% chance of doing it in crafting. And as many people have said, even in the Division, other different games, it is annoying. You know, RNG upon RNG upon RNG. You know, you get the gun, but then you have to roll for the mod, and then you got to roll for the skin, and it does get frustrating that way. But if you want it to be a service and something that can last forever, you have to give the players grindy things to do a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. And even if it's not super grindy, like if I could go out and get currency through finding helium filaments in some sort of mining skill, and then sell that, or then turn it into a smithing skill and craft it, and be the first person in the game to get an armor piece because I crafted it, and that's the only way to get it, you'd get a dynamic. You'd get people that are like, oh, well, screw PvP, screw the missions. I want to be a crafter. And it gives people a way to play that I find interesting, where they can sell that and say, okay, I'm going to work on crafting. I'm going to get that chest piece that everyone wants, and then I'm going to sell it, and then I can buy all my armor later on. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the way I'll gear up, is I'm going to be this kind of corner of the market on the crafting, and then I can go buy all those guns later on. Yeah, kind of thing. So it's the way that would be optimal Destiny for me.
I'd be way down for that Destiny. Unfortunately, Destiny 2 is going to be nowhere near it.
Yeah,
I wish.
Yeah, true.
You know.
Yeah.
Sorrow Wolf says, "Are you guys going to burn through the Destiny 2 campaign as fast as you can, or take your time and throw in some patrol when unlocked?"
I'm going to enjoy every bit of it, no matter how fast I go.
I don't know how you don't burn through it, right? Yeah. It's like, that's going to be, if it's anything like Destiny 1's campaign or the DLC's campaign, is you play through it, you know, you do it, you know, like, I'm not like rushing through the missions, but like at the same time, I expect I'll be done with it on the first day.
Well, some people want to go find all the ghosts. Like, do you guys like to find the ghosts? Like, I would rather. So there was what were the?
That's like an October or November activity fragments for me.
There's 50 calcium fragments. I am not going to be the guy ever to make the guide on it, because I will not put in the time to find it. You go find them. I'll go do the guide and do it in a tenth of the time. It's just not my style.
I just told people to go watch Dado's video. He put in the work, and then there you go. There's how to find all the calcified fragments.
All right.
Well, I guess for me, it's a lot of people don't have more than a couple hours of time to play a night. Mm-hmm. So burning through the game isn't really a possibility. You sit down, you enjoy maybe getting your character together, you do the first mission, and you sign off. You get ready for bed, and you got to go to work in the morning. So, by default, you're probably doing one mission a night, or you're playing a couple, 2-3 PvP matches a night. So I'm not going to be burning through the game because logistically I can't, you know?
So you'll be back in school by then too. So
I'm back in school now.
You're gonna be so busy.
The only thing that's saving me is that I'm going out on paternity leave. Literally the day before Destiny comes
so you're going to have all sorts of time with a baby around.
The baby's sitting there.
Get a little cozy and just...
I'll be doing a
party chat with Pope is not going to be awesome for a little bit.
I'm going to be doing a guide on which is easier to balance a baby and play Destiny, the PC or the console. So, to you determine.
For me, it's like I'm going to be sitting there waiting for Destiny 2 to go live on stream, and then playing it for 8 hours, and then as soon as I'm done with my stream, going to make 2 or 3 YouTube videos. That's just how my life is, so burning through it is not my goal. It's to play it and to enjoy it.
Yeah, have fun with it.
I'm going to be playing it for at least 8 hours straight.
At least, right? I mean, I'm going to have a tough time putting it down after the first day, because I'm going to be thinking about playing it, and I'm going to want to stream it. So it's going to be difficult. Like, do I do a 20-hour stream?
A fun time economy. Because, okay, let's say, Teft, you stream it and you say, I can stream for 15 hours. that's fantastic. You stream for 15 hours, and compared to me, you will get further in the game. And if you get further in the game and people are looking at streams, they're like, oh God, I've never even seen that area. You know, you're on a new planet that no one else is. And you get an advantage there in the stream, but then you didn't make any videos. Nope. And so you really have to decide, do you want to stream for 4 to 6 hours, get some good footage, make videos on that as new people are coming to the game, and do you want to grow your YouTube or do you want to grow your Twitch?
Right. Because another huge benefit of the two PC setup is having one
getting
PC
the footage
streaming
at the same time
and have one PC recording footage.
That's why I have my laptop.
You need to, Briar. You need to.
Now I need a 3 PC setup
so I can play the game. Your wife how to edit video.
Right? I tried that.
I need to hire an intern.
I tried that.
She could sit on one PC just editing your footage as it's coming in.
And I think Days of Iron came out before my Taken King videos would have gotten done.
Memes.
Rise of Iron, sorry.
Memes is very. I'm very fortunate. Memes is way down to edit videos for me. So
that's awesome.
It's very, very nice.
Dude, snap on that. You know what I mean?
No, that was one of the stipulations with my fiance. Is like, you want to marry the Tash man? You better learn to edit. Or you're done.
You're done. You're done, Ski.
No chance. I can replace you like that. I'm famous.
Like I can totally see yourself refer.
Quiz: how do you add a transition in Premiere?
Tash, I can totally see you referring to yourself as the Tash man, like to someone else when you're talking to him.
Yeah, you know how it is. It's the Tash man.
Tash man.
Well,
Tashman's coming to collect.
This copy
so much better than I am that I put myself in situations that just it's embarrassing.
Yeah, there's a small part of you that believes that though.
The mustache.
The mustache part.
I think it's my favorite part of them. Bobby Muchler says, "Do you consider yourself as Twitch streamers who make YouTube videos, or the other way around?"
That's how I look at myself right now. I'm mainly a streamer. That's my main thing, and then I make videos when I feel like I want to make videos because I want to.
Yeah.
You know.
Anybody else?
Right now, primarily, yeah. But once content is actually, or once Destiny 2 is actually here, I'm a YouTuber, Twitch streamer kind of second.
I wish I was a Twitch streamer. I really do. I wish I would have committed to it a long time ago because I think overall the platform is better.
Yeah.
But without YouTube, I never would have had any success on Twitch. It's very hard to just start streaming. I think anyone who comes into stream and says like, how do I become a streamer? I say, don't become a YouTuber and then become a streamer. Well, I mean, it depends. But anyways, I was a YouTuber first, and I'm going to focus very heavily on YouTube because I know the effort that I put in on YouTube, I will succeed more on YouTube than that same amount of effort on Twitch because I will indefinitely every single time get buried by Lumi, Real Crafty, Grenadier Jake. There's already King Italian, all these people that are bigger than me, and I like to see myself as like the guy people go to when those guys aren't on, and it's because the amount of time I've streamed is a fifth, a tenth of what a lot of them have. And so it comes with the territory. Those guys are streamers and some of them don't even touch YouTube. And I really got into Twitch 2-3 years after YouTube was already starting to get established for me. So
yeah, I agree.
I see myself as a casual who fancies himself a Twitch streamer and a YouTuber.
Nice.
That's how I see myself.
I've had like a kind of a crisis about YouTube over the last, I don't know, 6
months.
6 months,
yeah,
really. Like
you've been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah, because I mean, YouTube has been a pretty openly hostile environment, for 6 months. I mean, losing subs when I upload videos, all sorts of reasons. Decreased advertising revenue.
No notifications.
Because, somebody decided that somebody else was racist on YouTube. Notifications not going out. Like YouTube is, I really enjoy the act of making a video when my heart is into it. Twitch is always fun though. Like it's always fun to just turn on Twitch, and just like start streaming and start hanging out with people. And I think that with Destiny 2, YouTube will get more fun again, but it's still, the platform itself is still hostile. And that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
I wish YouTube would change their ways a little bit because they don't support us like Twitch does. You know,
it's a joke. Come on, they what have they done in the last 3 years that you're like, hey, thanks YouTube. I can think of 10 things right now that Twitch did that I was like, whoa, cool feature. Oh, cool feature.
Right?
Whoa, cool feature. Oh, what's this year helping us make more money? Oh, what's this year helping us get discovered? YouTube, and you know what? I think it's YouTube's issue is they're like, okay, leave. We'll replace you. People want to be YouTubers so bad. We'll just replace you, and we still get enough views. And I think it's they're idiots for doing it because one day people will get fed up, and people like Philip DeFranco and H3H3 has said, I'm not going to do my podcast anymore here because I'm going to go do it on Twitch because they'll support me more, and you know I'm getting flagged on videos even though I'm generating 10 million views.
You know, MySpace was feeling pretty good at one point. You know, like Yahoo was feeling pretty good at one point. Like, there's plenty of these companies that were top of the world at one point. And YouTube, man, the hubris that's coming out of YouTube, in my opinion,
there's a big ass difference.
Unbelievable.
There's a big difference between MySpace and Google.
No shit, there definitely is.
All right,
but I'm just saying that, like, you know, like you piss off enough people, and you're gonna build up enough ill will that people just don't want to support your brand, no matter how fucking good your product is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I hear you. They need to change around their dynamic. I don't disagree with you. I watch YouTube videos a lot. Of my favorite content creators all have that same position. I just think that they're too big of a player to be influenced by anybody.
I don't believe you're ever too big.
Someone else needs to come up with the capital and everything else to actually make a service that can stream video as well as YouTube does then. Because right now, or like not stream, or like just stream videos to actual streaming. That's why YouTube is where it's at. They have the ability to take 400 hours of video every whatever amount of time, and then
YouTube is big because they're owned by Google and they control the search algorithm. So if you search using Google for how to get better at the Crucible, then Mtashed YouTube video is going to come up because they also own YouTube and they control the search algorithm.
True. And
it has nothing to do with how good their video player is. Their video player sucks. Fucking porn sites have better video players than YouTube does.
Well, let's be fair. Let's be fair.
Trust porn me, sites, I know.
Porn sites have that pay-per-view stuff that makes them the real money. YouTube's trying to do their own porn. I mean, YouTube Red, you know, that paid version. I mean, it's
their own porn?
Not porn, but it's the equivalent of it, like a paid version of YouTube. And you know, hopefully for
type of thing.
Sure, you call it what you want.
Well, they're not. Just to clarify, YouTube is not doing porn.
No,
that's what it sounded like.
No, if you weren't listening, if you really, yes,
I
right.
just bought into YouTube again. I was like,
yes, I'm down.
Never mind. Now this is that shit I just said.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, isn't that if YouTube was to make a porn channel, wouldn't YouTube Red be like the perfect name for it?
I'm not going to start listing off all the different porn sites that basically have YouTube in the name.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, like if you were trying to, let's do this exercise. If you were trying to if you were trying to rebrand YouTube into have its own porn section, well, YouPorn already exists. If you're trying to use the YouTube Red, there's RedTube, which already exists. So you'd have to do like Red Porn Tube. I don't know, just like some weird amalgamation.
How about
of them.
RedTube?
Huh?
Is RedTube example?
Yes, that exists.
Oh. I'm honest with you. I don't watch.
They're all owned under the Pornhub brand anyway.
I still go on a Google search and say tits. Oh yeah.
Man.
You take
National Geographic. When I was a kid and you would watch scrambled like National Geographic or like a scrambled HBO, like what the hell was that called? That thing at night, late at night. Anyway, you sit there and you're like, that's how I grew up. These kids are
look at those orangutan tits.
God, look at that.
Oh my
God. So one other thing though, before we move on from this
boobs in an
amazing discussion, is so Mixer was offering like $150,000 to some streamers. Hey, come to the platform.
Yeah, it's
$1 million, and they still said, "No, I'm not coming to your platform because my audience isn't going to come to that platform." Even though you're going to give me a bunch of money, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, over time, I don't think I can grow it as quickly or bring that audience over. And even though you're giving me a lump sum payment of money, it's not worth it. So even if someone tried to compete with YouTube at this point, who's going to go use that platform other than new people? It's just that's the toughest thing.
What we can say is the only company out there that probably has the amount of space available to actually do what YouTube does is Pornhub.
Amazon.
Amazon. Actually.
No, I'm
legitimately Amazon.
Moving all
Amazon,
my
who now owns Twitch.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Amazon needs to get in this biatch, grab Twitch.
Twitch is now making
put it in Amazon Video, and
they're making significant investments into VODs.
Yep,
it's going to be good.
Twitch is making a real play. I honestly think that Amazon and Twitch are making a real play at YouTube. I think they're doing it.
They got to.
Here's what it comes down to, though, guys. YouTube will always be the search engine. It'll always be the place that you go.
Google will be.
Well, no, I think
YouTube is a search engine.
YouTube is a search engine, and people, I think, predominantly outside of content creation, think of YouTube as a place for information. So
true.
When the actual game community content creation side of things could ultimately switch to Twitch completely in, like, say 5-10 years, but I think the mass population are still going to treat YouTube as like, that's where I'm going to go learn how to install that one thing in the car.
But
yeah, they're not going to go to Twitch.
If you they're not going to go to Twitch. Exactly. If you keep pissing off your most talented creators, right? If you continually keep pushing them away, then eventually they're all going to find another place to land. And if the content on a different site is so vastly superior to what you find on YouTube, then people are going to know that. People are going to understand that. Eventually, you know, Chrome was my default browser forever. But eventually I figured out, you know what? Even fucking Edge is better than Chrome because Chrome is just eating resources like a pig.
It's true.
Like, eventually you're going to figure this stuff out, you know, and you're going to stop using it.
Yeah, but
you're a niche user of that, some of this stuff, man. Like, for me, Chrome is amazing. It integrates with all of my Google stuff, and it you know, I have Gmail and Google Calendar and all that stuff. For the average person, they're not heavy users. That stuff is all, you know, good.
I'm just saying, Briar, from the content creation perspective, there could be an exodus. But even if all the content creators that did gaming left YouTube and did, let's say, Twitch, just as an example, that's like probably 20% of YouTube. You know? Like, the majority of YouTube is just massive amounts of information. Music, cat videos.
Music guides,
like,
how to, makeup.
Exactly. Tons of all that stuff that is still thriving on YouTube. So
But you see it. You see Twitch making this play, right? You see them making the play. They're opening up the IRL. They're opening up the music. They're opening up. They got Crunchyroll coming in and doing stuff. Twitch wants to be bigger than just games.
I guess I didn't think about that too, though. They do have the IRL coming and things like that. I don't know.
They're in position. They're in position to make a play at YouTube if they really want to put the resources behind it, but I don't think they're going to unless Amazon can just start like attracting people to post their videos there and become a new social hub for it. I think if Amazon bought like a social, you know, a some sort of like, not Facebook, but something like Instagram or something, and created
Facebook
that.
is another very big competitor for YouTube.
Sure. And I think they could make
Facebook video is huge.
I guess I just wonder when will YouTube smarten up and kind of care? And like, okay, so like Twitch has subscribers, and that's a bit of like a crowdfunding thing to keep things going. But unless you have a Patreon, really, and it's, you know, it's a third-party thing, you can't really get that from YouTube, or maybe you can, but not in Canada. I know for a fact there's no sort of subscriptions on YouTube, and not everyone has to use the service or will use the service, but it makes me wonder, if they threw in a subscriptions thing, how many people are going to use that? And that revenue instantly, like, okay, so let's say 1% of my following on YouTube ended up using it. Because let's say, because about 1% of my following on Twitch uses it. If that happened, all of a sudden, holy shit, YouTube is actually, and now I'm generating more income than Twitch. You might see a shift of those people like me that's going YouTube, switching to Twitch. I might go, oh God, now I kind of have to go back to YouTube because my audience is bigger there. But they just don't do that stuff. There's
another difference though.
I don't know.
on Twitch, you make actually a personal connection with your audience because you're literally chatting with them live.
Way
There's a
more
comment
too.
section on YouTube, which, I mean, sometimes is great. Sometimes is literally like it's hell on earth, right? It's like I've seen comment sections go bad to the point where you're better off just not reading it because like it could ruin your fucking day. Twitch chat doesn't do that, you know. And you don't make that personal connection with commenters. It
does, but you have tools to moderate it. Plus, you have
those tools in YouTube too. You can moderate comments in YouTube.
I guess the only thing too, though,
mods that
it's like on YouTube if you're making a video and like why you might not directly reply to every comment when you have a personality. Hey guys, how you doing? Mtashed here. Oh, I can't wait to show you this video. And you have this kind of likable personality. I think you still get you can get a very supportive audience that cares about you, not just the content. I think if all you're doing is stats and you don't really have that empathetic or like compassionate or likable personality,
you can just say Patrick.
It would be harder.
You can just say Patrick.
What? I think you have a okay, yeah, Patrick. No, I just.
Hey guys, here we're reviewing this paper plate today. It's not as good as a normal ceramic plate because this one bends, so it's not going to be as competitive as some of the harder plates out there. You're probably only going to get one use out of this.
Keep talking.
I am with you.
Keep talking. It's so good.
I am with you, Mtashed. Like you do tend to get like you see the same faces all the time in the comments, but it's not like a Twitch chat where you're literally having a conversation real time with people. You know, it's not. You don't build the same kind of relationship, and you don't build it as quickly on YouTube comment sections as you do in Twitch chat.
Yeah,
and you don't get the unedited you.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point too.
Edited and tailored, and you might be the funniest, friendliest guy, but it is an edited video where they get a glimpse of you. When I drop my cup and I'm like, oh God, and reacting to it live, it's very easy to have that kind of compassion towards the streamer and see him as him, and I don't know. I guess want to be part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Or on YouTube,
community is powerful. I mean, that's why you're saying like there's some Twitch streamers that are offered very large amounts of money to move over to a different platform, and they said no because the community is more valuable. It's
100%.
It's what your brand is built around is the community, and if you move your community, there is absolutely going to be a portion that don't move over 100%. And how big is that portion? I don't know. I think every Twitch streamer that is established is terrified of the idea of wanting to move their community somewhere else.
Oh, it's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, this is a great conversation, guys. I'm really, really enjoying it. I mean, I think it's on a lot of people's minds right now. We're all either consumers or content creators, and it affects our life. A lot of what we do, from watching YouTube videos or to laughing at a cat video, it revolves around this digital environment is a big part of our life. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Enrique Espinoza R says, what is your opinion about the fact that our Guardian won't say a word on Destiny 2? Love the show, guys. Keep up your awesome work.
Thank you.
I love it. I love just like I like reading a book and having the conversation going on in my head. When I'm playing the Destiny and the story is unfolding in front of me, I like having my character's voice be me.
My fantasy is that character is me.
Yes.
And to hear a different voice coming out of his mouth breaks that fantasy.
Yes. In my opinion, I agree as well. And I know I've heard other people voicing other opinions on that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I have no opinion on it right now until I've played the full campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I can't read his name because it's in white. I think it's X-Dom. The Dark Souls approach. I've never cared 1 minute that my Dark Souls character didn't talk. I was still enthralled with the lore and cared about the characters, and I thought, that guy's funny, that guy's interesting, I want to hear what you have to say. And I think with Dark Souls, a lot of it isn't ambiguous, and lore is left into the weapon details, kind of like how Grimoire is. So I don't really mind it, because in Dark Souls, I've never questioned it or cared at all. I thought, hey, it works for me. Talk to me.
Less talking and more moaning. Because when you get hit, you moan, right?
Sure.
Yes, more moaning. No, I know that there's other. I mean, there's a lot of the lore guys, and I know Bife put out a video on it that they're upset about the, the lack of a. Well, first of all, we haven't played the game yet, so everybody slow down a little bit, right? And I know that's hard for people to say.
But I got to make a video every day, Pope.
We're in the business of conjecture, and we got to put this out there. But to be honest with you, if the story is disjointed and it doesn't make sense, and we're getting flashbacks of D1, then fine, bitch about it. But right now, we haven't even felt the story play out, and if it doesn't feel right, then let's talk about it. But right now, man,
the only experiences I have of the story have been extremely positive.
Exactly, that's my point, man. Like we're playing the beta, and it felt dope. And if they're gonna do that in D2, then I'm stoked for it. And if the design choice is to have the voice be in my head and not talk, I'm with you, Briar, man. I don't want to hear another voice. I want to hear me. The only thing that I wish that would be better is if the
Snoop Dogg does the voiceover.
No. If I could get a better character creation screen. A process. I would like a little bit more. I would like a beard. I'd like to have a bald head. I'd like to have I'd like to be able to make me as a character in the game.
I would also like to make Pope.
Yeah.
I would like Briar to play as
Pope.
me.
You're gonna make your Guardian that stars on RubHub.com.
I don't know what RubHub.com is.
I don't either.
I like it.
It's fit in
What
chat.
is that?
It's fit in chat. RubHub.
What is that?
RubHub.
Is that a thing?
No. It's from Rick.
It could be.
It's from the collective minds of chat.
It's from Rick and Morty.
Oh, is it?
RubHub.com.
Is it from Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Oh,
the new.
I gotta
new
watch season 3. I haven't started watching.
I didn't know.
3 yet.
New season 3 intro.
I guess the only thing I'll say is, might not hear the characters, but for the first time in Destiny history, when I watched at the Destiny reveal, and even when I played it again, those first cutscenes with the Cabal attacking, I cared about the characters, and I cared about the story. I got chills for like the first time in Destiny. And so I think if they do a solid job telling the story, I'll be very happy with that kind of portrayal. And if my character talks, it's not a big deal to me. They just have to do a good job keeping me engaged in the story and caring about it. So,
okay.
Bill Krepp says, "Hello, Guardians. How many character slots do you think we'll have in Destiny 2? I hope for 6. Would be great to dismantle in the Postmaster too. I think we'll have 3.
3.
Yeah, it would be great to dismantle in the Postmaster though.
Unless we come up with unless we have an expansion or something, or they didn't tell us about a secret character slot. We can play as the race of the Fallen, and that's our 4th character. Dope. Dude, imagine if that was the DLC for for an expansion. You got a 4th character, like the Fallen class. You could play as a captain.
That'd be nuts.
Oh man, that would be so awesome. Destiny would explode.
Or what about, because we're forging new legends. What if it was like the civilian, and you could like take abilities from each class, almost like a mixture class? Can you imagine? You have the super.
It'd be OP.
Dawnblade. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
What would happen if you consumed pulse nades? You become electric.
No. I like the civilian idea, because then that could open it up for like a hardcore mode, like in Diablo, where once the character's dead, they're dead.
Ooh.
They don't come back.
Speaking of hardcore mode, wouldn't that be awesome in Destiny? Actually, have a hardcore character that you can make, a real one life.
That'd be awesome.
You could rank them by level, and you could.
It was the worst thing ever.
Be all over it.
Joe Arnold says, "What if Arcstrider had a one-time use teleportability during its super, kind of like Reaper in Overwatch? It was a real struggle in Destiny 2 PvP."
Wait, say Arcstrider or Voidwalker?
Arcstrider.
Arcstrider, yes, please. I think increasing blink like in super, that could be cool.
Or like ionic blink, how a Stormcaller, like imagine that, like you're going close the gap really quick, and then
increasing the speed or making the dodge actually dodge.
Okay, so the other skill tree, it said that it drastically reduced damage while dodging, so maybe that helps you close the gap.
It said you become harder to kill, which isn't too specific.
I guess because maybe that just means you're even more dodgy. Like
maybe it increases the speed at which you dodge. Maybe you take less damage. Maybe aim assist gets turned off on it.
I
a lot of
agree
possibilities.
that hunters could possibly become more dodgy.
Definitely.
They're pretty dodgy right now. And
I feel like the Arc Strider though does need some work, a lot of work.
No, it's not a super that feels like at
Fun.
its current state. It's not a super that you feel like when you pop it, you're gonna get some kills with it.
Well, it's not a super that you feel like you're having a good time when you use.
Like even in PvE, like you're running from enemy to enemy, and when you're on top of them, whipping your staff around, it's cool. But I found even in times I'm trying to run towards enemy, and it's like Jesus, like I want to close the gap on them quicker and get in the action. I felt like I was running, and I'd be swinging my staff, not really doing anything yet.
The combos are really cool though.
It's two things. It's one, you can't pop it and immediately do damage. So if they actually made it so when you popped it, you like slam the ground with your pole. So it was like a kind of like a Fist of Havoc type of simulation thing like that. That would help. So you can actually get in there and immediately get some kills. Or like you said, the ionic blink thing would be really good to close distances. Because it's got to be one or the other. It's like you either got to do damage right away, or we got to have the ability to close the distance right away. So.
Chill Magician says, looking back on Destiny 1, which expansion / DLC do you remember being the most excited about?
Taken King.
Same.
I was I think every single one I was like more excited than the last. It's like a progressiveness, but that was also because we went longer and longer in between. Felt like we went longer and longer in between content gaps, so I got increasingly more needy for it.
I was tempering my expectations for Rise of Iron, though.
Rise of Iron.
Like, I knew it was going to be a smaller thing than Taken King, and I also expected it was going to have to last an entire year, so I was definitely tempering my expectations for it.
And it did only have like a 2-hour campaign.
And see, I was more excited about Crota's End or Dark Below because I was already really in love with the game, and I was like, oh god, and now there's more in another raid. And even by Taken King, like I slowly started getting burnt out. And then like for Rise of Iron, I knew a new expansion was coming, but I was like, I know what Destiny is. I've played Destiny. Cool, the raid's gonna be fun. But even though this new content was coming, I was already sort of burnt out. Where Dark Below, it was still fresh in my mind. And then what's the other one? House of Wolves.
House of Wolves, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about Trials coming, and I was really excited to hear about that. And so it's almost like the longer I went, the less I cared about the expansions, which is kind of opposite of you guys.
Must Have Galley says, could locked loadouts ruin a world first raid try? You're at the final boss and realize the group doesn't have the right setup to beat it.
Depends on how the locking works with the instance. Like you clear up to the last boss and realize you need something, then you leave and then come back and you're at the same point. Oh yeah, and then someone else made it. That comes in, but like if you have to start from the very beginning, they wouldn't do that. I don't know. I like the idea of locked loadouts. Their implementation seems kind of weird to me, where it's like
you don't know what their implementation is.
They were talking about it in, I believe, the last podcast where, so for a locked loadout for the raid, it's not per when you start a fight, your stuff is locked. It's when you load in, you can't change your talents, you can't change your guns, nothing. That is the loadout you have to use for the entire raid. So that's
hefty, man.
That's hardcore, man.
I don't.
That's
It's gonna be. I don't think that's gonna how it's gonna be. Honestly, I think it's gonna be once you get to.
That's the way that they were talking about it.
It's a difficulty. It's a difficulty modifier. That's what it is. It's like going into a Nightfall or something. You're gonna load into a heroic or harder raid, and it's gonna be a challenge mode to, or something harder setting of doing the raid.
Okay, they never specified raid. My bad. They sort of whatever activity they happen to be. I could have sworn they were talking about the raid when that was happening.
I gotta have to listen to that podcast again because I didn't get that.
I didn't get it either.
You're saying,
but
for the heroic or something.
I could see it happening.
Cool, but if you're in a raid where you need to adapt and there's all these different things you got to do, if they don't give you opportunities to adapt, I feel like
it feels like you want all the tools at your disposal, right? It's like it's the raid. This is what you spent all this time collecting the gear for.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
And you should be rewarded for finding that really good fusion rifle that works with this section and that really good sniper that works for that section.
Exactly.
And
that's honestly why
I
don't think it's going to be
a Nightfall modifier, like no doubt about it.
Yeah, Nightfall makes sense, but in terms of raids, I don't think they want to lock us into specific loadouts for the raids, because part of it that's interesting is discovering, like you said, what fusion rifle or what type of sniper or what type of thing works for this specific encounter and becoming the most optimal DPS machine. Optimal DPS.
Yeah, chat's right. Sorry.
Colby Roy says, who else is excited for Razer's new chroma light strips to turn my room yellow when I get my super? I didn't know that was a fucking thing, and you just sold me on Razer's new chroma light strips. That's going to work? Like, if you hook this up to your PC, it's going to like glow depending on what you're doing in the game?
As it is.
Have they said that?
Keyboard does and all that already.
It does?
Yeah, as it is
like
right
with
now.
certain games, yeah, it will, based on what you're doing in the game and things. So they probably just have it built into, it would be, I don't know if it's technically API, but it would, if you're playing Destiny 2 on PC, it would understand what's happening in the game and then change accordingly.
Yeah.
It might turn red if you're dead. Or
with the
whatever.
chroma keyboard, if you're playing Overwatch, it changes colors depending on what character you pick.
But he's talking about chroma light strips on top of that.
Yeah, so that's just a USB plug-in.
Same way.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh! I got USB.
Excited.
Can I get like ports? Amazon Echo integration?
I'm gonna have
Alexa,
like a USB extension.
is my
so it
super
goes down
up
to the
right
kitchen,
now?
So, I'm gonna have a USB extension so it goes to wherever my wife is hanging out. So if she sees a flash red, she knows I'm gonna be a bad mood when I come downstairs because I just wiped on the raid. Stay away.
That's funny.
Bring cookies. More beer.
Bring cookies.
Bring cookies.
Maybe she'll put a light above the door and it's a red light or a green light if you're allowed to sleep there or on the couch that night. So
yeah,
she
already has that one. Sonic NG23 says, do you think we'll ever see evil guardians? It looked like we would when they showed the Taken armor for the first time.
Ooh. I would love to see something like that. That would be interesting.
I think it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah?
It's a no-brainer. Eventually, like,
dude, I want to kick the Queen's
great obvious thing.
brother's ass is what I wanted. That snotty crow guy. So I want him to be like an evil guy. Beat him up.
You want to kill Jaime Lannister?
DLC at some point is to have some, like, to run into some rogue guardians, and we have a raid against guardians. That would be dope.
Dark guardians with like red eyes.
That would be fun.
I love that. I love that idea because like getting invaded in Dark Souls is always like tense and interesting. So, or like when they have those NPCs that show up in Dark Souls, that you've been invaded by Sir whoever. It's interesting.
You'd really have to code it well, though.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have to move real smooth, and they'd have to be definitely a threat. But if they're popping their super at a dumb time against you and things like that, or like, I don't know how it would work. They'd have to be coded really well for me to want it to happen, because I feel like it would be not. I don't know if it would be losing immersion, but if I go up against a guardian and I know what I can do, and then I'm playing against like this potato, it's like, oh, whatever.
Imagine this, okay? Is that the raid is a basic raid where you have bosses, and maybe like you got this one deformed guardian who's been, you know, drinking in the darkness for too long, and then
drinking the Vex milk.
It's a raid until the final boss,
KJ Hobie.
It becomes a PvP match where you have two raid teams face off. One of them looks like Dark Guardian, or whatever team you're on is like your Guardians, but it just puts a skin of the Dark Guardians on the opposing team, and that's your final raid boss, is a PvP match.
And whoever loses the match has to redo the raid. Oh my
god.
Oh my god. That would be so bad. People
would get so mad, man.
These are horrible ideas.
How could you put PvP in the PvE?
Oh man,
dude, that's like pouring your milk in first, man. You just don't do it.
You just don't do it.
Not right.
Let's see here. Jonah Shetler says, if you or your guardian from Destiny 1 was an NPC in Destiny 2, where and what would they be? Where would you hang out if you were an NPC?
If I was an NPC
in Destiny 2?
Yeah.
I mean,
you got the Nessus, you got the farm, you got
my character, because the hunter is always exploring, you'd have to get out of the map and in like some weird location that you're not supposed to get to.
Easter egg.
Yeah, I'd be an Easter egg.
Oh, all right.
Man, I'd be on the farm. I'll take a banjo. I want to be a bot that whistles.
Chilling by that campfire on the couch.
Yeah, I want to have a banjo as a bot whistling while I play.
I'd also be at the farm. I'd be constantly
gotta have a beard too.
Behind the Cryptarchs. You know that little secret room behind the Cryptarch that everybody found? I'd be back there literally 24/7 beating the shit out of Rahul.
Just be back there.
Yeah, that's all
just
I do.
An unconscious Rahul and you.
Waterboarding Rahul.
Yes.
So you got like all these implements, you know.
It's like this torture chamber just set up.
You got Rahul just
tied up. I'm on the rack, cranking the rack. I got a big smile on my face.
Little S&M. Bring out the Gimp. The Gimp's sleeping. Well, you're just gonna have to wake him up now, aren't you?
I'd want to just be walking around complaining about Rumble. Back in my day, we had Rumble, free for all fight. I don't know.
I don't know if I probably want to be like some mangy mutt in the city, in the destroyed town of Under the Traveler, just kind of eking out a living and then running up and peeing on a Guardian's leg. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to be programmed to do.
I'm gonna read this question. You guys tell me if you want to answer or not. Azriel Speaks says, for all the new streamers for Destiny 2, what would your advice be to succeed? How do you think content creators can survive the current YouTube situation? So this is a multi-part question. We've kind of addressed it before. Mtashed.
My tip is no one can find you on Twitch. Like, no one can search for you on Twitch if they don't know you exist. But someone can search how to beat this boss, and you can make a video and they'll find you. I think it's a lot easier to grow on YouTube. I mean, I don't want a bunch of competition on there, but I think just like starting out on Twitch is very, very tough to do, especially in a brand new game like this. Like, think of how many big people are going to come play Destiny 2, especially when PC launches. Like, I'm going to get buried. So I can only imagine if you have 2 viewers, how the hell is anyone going to find you? But 3-4 months down the road, when things start to dissipate, I think also the Destiny community is one of the best to grow in. So it's a really tough situation there.
Yeah, when it comes to Twitch, it is difficult. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people interested in checking out the stream. But just because there's a lot of people streaming it doesn't mean that there's less interest in the bottom of the directory either. There's a lot of people that would prefer to watch somebody who's only got a few viewers because they feel like they could maybe chat a little bit, have a good conversation.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just want to like be in a stream that's less hectic because the streams that have thousands of people in them tend to be more hectic and more crazy. So they're just looking for a different experience. So you can't rule out that as well. Like there are 100% people that want to check out streams that aren't as big. And it also comes at a cost with growing as well. If you happen to grow a stream from a smaller side and then it does get bigger, you will lose those people. You will lose some of those people because they'd prefer the stream to be more chill, as opposed to bigger and all that.
Yeah. Don't talk about how, appreciate those 3 people that are in your chat too. Like don't begrudge the fact that you don't have 15 people in when you do have 3. Engage those 3 and be appreciative of those 3 who are there, because if you're not happy about that, they're going to know that, and then you're going to have none.
Yeah, that's a huge point, Brian. Honestly, like if you spend a month streaming and feel like you haven't got anywhere, you can't like take that out on your viewers that you do have. Like if you have a couple viewers that are regulars and you start complaining to them about that, that's not a good time for them to hang out. You got to be appreciative regardless of where you're at. And you got to also keep in mind that no matter what type of success, it involves some sort of lottery at some point for somebody. All of us have had certain types of lottery hit that put us where we're at right now because it just happened to line up. The stars aligned. We were in the right place, right time to have something happen to get us more exposure. And you got to just keep that in mind. So hard work, along with the possibility of having some sort of luck happen, eventually can lead to a success. But,
Tappy had sex with his girlfriend on the PlayStation 4 camera, and look how far it brought him.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Grubhub.com.
Also, worldwide news coverage.
Also, have good quality audio.
Yes.
Because then this is where I would normally do an ad transition. But yeah, have good quality audio because people want to hear you and your stream well.
And Jesus, have fun. Holy cow, like even if you want to do it for one viewer, you want to be this famous, you want to be Dr. Disrespect, you have to have fun doing it, because you'll never make it to that point of having a large audience if you're bored and you can't engage with the audience, or you're just not having fun. Because if you don't enjoy streaming, why would you want to be successful?
Yeah.
And who's going to enjoy watching?
Why would you want to be successful if you're not going to do it? Why would you do it if it's not fun? So it has to be something you want to do. And obviously, it's tough to entertain when no one's watching you, but you have to think to yourself, once people do start watching you, you better be liking it, or what's
there's no way there's no way that I'd want to be like Dr. Disrespect. I mean, imagine walking around everywhere you go and everywhere you go and just intimidating people no matter where you are. It'd just be ridiculous, man. It'd be tough life, right? It'd be a tough life. Stay small, stay humble.
All right, 3 more questions and we're done. Doc Firebird says, are burritos classified as a sandwich?
No. Oh, it's a burrito.
Anything.
It's a burrito. It's literally, it's got its own name. It's a burrito. It's not a fucking sandwich. Don't be fucking ridiculous.
I don't call wraps burritos.
I'm done with this.
A burrito is a burrito. A wrap has got like salad in there and stuff.
Most interesting Korean. Yeah, it's a burrito. Most interesting Korean says, which apocalyptic event would you rather have? Ape takeover or zombie apocalypse?
What's the first one?
Ape takeover. So like Planet
zombie apocalypse. I've been preparing this my whole life.
Right? That's my answer too, man. It's like literally video games have been training me. TV has been training me. Movies have been training me. There's like what? 10 movies about an ape takeover, and there's 200 about the zombie apocalypse, as well as
video games.
Fortnite. I've been learning how to build forts and protect against the storm of zombies coming.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay. Pyramids, man. Who would have thought pyramids?
If you're thinking about it logically too, if apes became super smart, a chimpanzee can rip your arm out of its socket if it tried really hard, right? Yeah. You're going to be fighting these apes that are taking over the world, and you're going to get destroyed in a one-on-one hand combat. If this fat fuck of a zombie is chasing me, and he couldn't do it when he was alive, there's no.
Dude, it was a glandular problem.
What's that?
Zombie
had a gland problem.
Don't fat shame the zombies. No, but I'm just saying, like. Also, like, they're decomposing and dead. There's no.
Right.
I will say.
Wait it out.
Here's the problem. I have a feeling that the ape apocalypse might smell a little bit better than the zombie apocalypse. I think there could be some really bad.
I don't know, man. What's an ape shower schedule look like?
Yeah, but ape isn't rotting flesh.
That's a good point.
Rotting flesh is, on another level of stank.
I feel like the stank will peak, but then it will also go down. Whereas the ape stank is just going to go up and up and up and up.
Well, look at it from this one survival point. Imagine if you were in the ape world, right? In the zombie world, you can take zombie guts, smear it on you, and then walk among them, right? In a survival last minute ditch.
I mean, they seem to have forgotten.
Wait.
Walking Dead, like they did in season 1.
Then
never again.
In the ape world, you can't like smear poop all over you and then walk around with the apes as a last ditch survival.
Man.
They just throw it at you.
They took over the world.
They're gonna sniff you out, man. They're gonna sniff you out.
No, they took over the world.
But you can bang the apes and then become.
Whoa! You can do what with
you can't bang the apes.
I'm sorry, Mike. Gonna have to take yellow card on this one.
Whoa! I don't think that's allowed. You can't bang what you're like.
Ape apocalypse.
Awkward.
You can't bang a zombie. You can't bang an ape. They're all the no bang zone. This is all part of the no bang zone.
And at the same time, who says you can't bang the zombies?
Whoa!
I'm done now.
Red card out of the game.
Whoa! That's not allowed either.
All right, last question of the night.
Is banging a zombie necrophilia?
Yeah,
definitely.
Of course.
But they're reanimated.
Dead.
Definitely still dead.
It's a little bit more entertaining version of necrophilia, but it is still necrophilia.
So are they alive? Are they not dead? It's a different form of being alive.
Well, it's like a. Well, never mind. I'm not going to get into this.
Ramos Network says, "When is it okay to start farting next to your new girlfriend?"
Right now.
Sooner than later, so you know she's the right one.
Yeah, man.
True.
You gotta assert your dominance.
That is a
dominant issue.
That's a tester right there. You gotta know.
Yeah, if she's gonna break it off over a fart, then I don't think it's destined to last.
Yeah.
Right. You want to be holding those fuckers in for the rest of your goddamn life? No, you don't. So you fart on that first date, and you look her square in the eye and see what she does.
And just look at her and go, like, if she looks at you and goes, damn, hun, that's tight.
If she giggles, then she's a keeper.
Just be prepared for when she cuts one louder than you.
Ah.
Just look at her and go, honey, is that a challenge?
Oh, my God.
Also, just wait, be in the bed with her, and then just pull the covers over her head.
The Dutch oven, sure.
The Dutch oven. That's the proper time.
That is not the proper time. Every kid in chat that is listening right now, please do not listen to this man. Do not. He's a one PC guy. You need to take advice from.
That's why you can't get the next one. Dutch ovening them all.
Yeah, you don't.
No wonder it's so hot in your apartment.
Yeah,
Jesus
I mean,
I'm Dutch ovening myself in my own apartment. That's why it's so hot in here.
Oh, I'm gagging. I can't even edit
okay.
properly. My eyes are watering.
Not okay.
Dutch oven, though. If she takes a Dutch oven with a smile on her face, she's definitely a keeper.
Yeah, but you owe her.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's a gift from me to you.
That's not a gift from anybody,
You
Brian.
owe me now.
Man, I've slept in the same room with you. You owe that woman like a lot. You snore like a chainsaw, bro.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I swear to God,
baby.
the windows in the hotel room were rattling. They're like,
I think there was something wrong with the air conditioner. Probably. I think that was it. Rattling around a little bit. All right, that's it. We had actually a ton more, but I think we're going on about 2.5 hours now. So
solid.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you want to find, you got one. You got a fidget spinner.
Oh yeah, I got one.
Did you have to pre-order the game again?
No, they honored my original pre-order, but I did have to go to 2 separate GameStops to get it.
They were out?
The first one never received a shipment, so I made them call other GameStops to see who had it.
Do you think somebody?
You're a grown-ass man. You're a grown-ass man.
Do you think somebody hijacked that box of shipment? Be like, oh, these are the Destiny 2 fidget spinners. I'm taking this home.
I don't know what happened.
Bathing in spinners, just saw it.
Selling them on eBay for like an ungodly amount of money.
I got him hanging him from his nipples.
2 courses, pre-fidget spinner and post-fidget spinner, and the last 5 days have been fabulous.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
How is the quality? Okay, Briar, real question here. How is the quality of the fidget spinner?
I have no previous experience on fidget spinners. I can say that it spins.
Okay. Briar, stop the spinning. Hold it up to the camera. Give it one solid spin here, and everyone, let's count. Wait! I want to time it. No,
we're not doing this.
No, we're doing this right now.
Oh my God, is this going to be like a magic
moment?
How about we time? Okay, Briar, restart.
In outros.
Briar, stop.
Okay. How many outros does this spin for? Patrick, start your outro.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in today to the Destiny Community Podcast. That's how out of it I am right. It's the heat. It's getting to me. Destiny Community Podcast. If you want to find more of me, I am at Holtzmann_YT on the Twitters.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me on Twitter at @TheBriarRabbit. You can find me streaming on Twitch. Just look up Briar Rabbit. I stream every day at 1 p.m. Eastern. Or look me up on YouTube. Just search Briar Rabbit. And I think that's it.
And I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. You catch my streams, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. Usually start around 6 p.m. Pacific time. Sometimes it makes it closer to 7 p.m. And I have an occasional noon stream as well during the week. Also, if you want to check out that build that I did for the i7 machine, it is on my YouTube channel, which got some love. youtube.com/TeftyTeft. Yeah.
Tash.
I'm Mtashed everywhere. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. Just Mtashed. You'll find me. I do a variety of different fun videos. I stream. Just talked about Pope now. That's it. That's all you need.
And this has been Pope Bear. You can follow me on Twitter at Pope Bear. Make sure to follow us at Destiny Tom Pod for all the stuff and the new shows that are coming out. And yeah, thank you very much.
Well, it's almost done. The fidget spinner is still going. It's almost.
It's out of gas.
3, 2.
It's
No, it's still spinning. It's still spinning.
That's not creating sufficient velocity to power
Nailed it.
anything.
A minute
it's going
and
in
31
reverse.
seconds.
Yes!
A minute and
That's
31
pretty good.
seconds of a fidget spinner. That's actually a pretty high quality fidget spinner.
Yeah, not
Well,
bad.
I mean, it is a Destiny 2 branded fidget spinner.
Mm-hmm.
What did you expect? Low quality? No, you did not.
No.
What do you think? Activision is
Destiny
cheap?
2 amazing game confirmed.
Based on the quality
Double
of the
dab.
fidget spinner, this game's going to be lit. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so
tuning
much for
in.
having me, guys. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thanks
Dash.
for being on,
Thanks
Dash.
for coming on,
Always
Dash.
fun. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Goodbye.
Well, we
Still
don't
streaming.
just hang out.